The following topics appear in this episode. Viewer discretion, as always, is advised. Last episode, if you recall, we went through, we were in the city, and I'm going to take him down. Sorry, little guy. You can motivate me from over here. And there was the church, and at the church, you saw like the fire being held back. It ended up being that the demon, there was like some like demon assassins inside, and they were basically holding like the Emperor's fire back, was kind of a key symbolism of that scene. And then you learned that Lucerion was laid low. On your way out of town, you investigated the armor of the assassin that was hanging from the gates, learned that the armor was specifically crafted to be able to ensure not necessarily that the wielder would live, but they, like, if they were attacked, but get them to their target. So there may be something arcane about that armor. Then you guys made it back to camp. The cliff notes of back to camp is the dagger was discovered, and investigating that dagger, you learned that the dagger also has an arcane ability attached to it, in that it shows things how they really are. Well, it slows down time, apparently. You saw a demon making some very uncomfortable moves on Cassie. You confronted Cassie, Oro confronted Cassie, and we learned, or Cassie's character learned, that she enjoys this feeling and that the demon is not possessing her. She is in control of what is happening to the demon. Cassie reviewed, finally, the letter from home. And Garrin opened that last session with a dream sequence where he discovered what the meaning of the changes in his book signify. And Cole learned to write. He learned some humanity. He may or may not have two girlfriends.
Who knows? Not Cole.
No, seriously, for the rest of
Cole has no idea.
Yeah, Cole doesn't know.
I love a Tarzan-like character arc.
Yeah.
I'm actually very impressed with how much I'm remembering of this episode.
I forgot that the church was in the same section as last time.
Honestly, yeah, a little bit.
And then we closed the episode with a dreamwalk sequence. It was learned that the arcane blade was laced with some sort of poison that was specifically created to... Actually, the effects of what it was designed to do is a little unknown, but the result of it basically put Lucerion in a coma where he was slowly dying. He had the power to come back, but he had to choose. Cassie dreamwalked. When she dreamwalked, her spirit was full-fledged demon core. What left her body, only she could see, that we know of,
I don't
was
like how you
a
said
demon. Well, yeah.
We're gonna turn into a weapon.
But one innuendo that may have been missed is Lucerion. I described him in a way, seeing you in your true form, so he knows you're a demon. You talk him into something. What that something is to be determined.
I was just saying shit. I'm gonna be so rude.
For just someone just saying shit, I don't know. It might have been leading questions, getting you to say what I wanted you to say.
I think so. Those.
Who's in control here, really?
I when I was editing, I was like editing and like, damn, I did a good job at leading those questions, because it could have gone a completely different way. It went the way that I hoped it would. In the morning, as you guys wake up, the command pavilion, as you guys walk in to meet with the command staff here, smells faintly of oil and ash. There are maps laid flat across the central table, weighted at corners by sigils of the flame. And Lucerion stands at ease, helm removed, but in full battle plate. His expression is composed, almost like gentle. Like you see an era of stress has been removed from him, where these years of battle, it seems as if he's the fresh general out of an academy. And notably, for the first time, we see one of his brethren, Orith Phobos, stands behind him, clad in ochre-colored leather armor. So plate armor, but covered in a coat of leather around it to be worn, especially in colder climates. It stands by his side. His appearance is unique in that he is half bald and half braided hair that comes down almost like Viking-esque down his other side, with a long disheveled beard. And then behind him is Theodore. His armor had been freshly polished, standing near his liege lord for the first time. And he is kind of back there waiting to be called upon. When the last of you enters, he waits for an unusually awkward period of time as like everybody's like, okay, when is somebody gonna say something? And then the silence just stays as like the tension could be cut with a hot knife. Finally, he speaks. Thank you, warriors, for joining me on this glorious day. We are not a flawless host, but you each have obeyed where clarity has been lacking. He gestures to the maps. Now that my brother Oris is here, the 7th is going to be joining us on the southern coast of the Bastion on the mainland, a region that remains unresolved. And that is, right there. So he is going to go to the Bastion. That kind of absence creates opportunities for our enemies to plot. He meets your eyes individually, one by one. We will correct their mistakes. This operation is intended to be swift, violent, and ensure that the remainder of this godforsaken land remembers what it is like to resist my father. No negotiations, no offers of peace. We are going to unleash the full fury of the host and my brother's host. You will receive orders that may feel incomplete, but that is intentional. We will not mess up this time like we did last. We must be strategic and intentional. There is no room to question, only to obey. You will hear concerns from those that you lead who do not see the shape of war. You are not to engage with speculation. Just execute. Questions?
Why the change of tactics?
Nobody should have been able to nearly lay me low, and it is because they have been given too much freedom, too much mercy, and we owe it to ourselves to be done with it quickly, especially in such a dangerous part of the continent.
How was an assassin even allowed to get so close to you?
You remember from the entity you faced in the city, correct? There are powerful beings that would wish to see my father's plans be destroyed, and it appears those entities are enabling the followers that they have by giving them access to magic and technology that they should not have, which illustrates the point why we need to be swift. It turns out that they're not just followers of something that they should have never been followers of, but they're active participants in forgetting.
It almost seemed like from our negotiations that they were hostages. As soon as we came to terms, they seemed to explode.
I not entirely sure what you mean by that. Can you explain, my son?
Well, the negotiations were going well, and then the people we were negotiating with just exploded.
Yes. I have a feeling that had to do with the unholy choir holding something back, which may have been an oversight on our part. I fear that no matter what, we would have had no choice in this case but to kill them all to begin with. If they're holding back such powerful magic, we can't let that magic succeed. We can't let it spread. But if we kill it, it unleashes evils. So why not just end it all to begin with? Why go through the why go through the attempts at peace if it just doesn't matter in the end?
That sounds reasonable to me. If they're just going to explode in the end anyways, and they're doomed to die.
You see, you are wise beyond your years, Chaplain.
Thank you, my lord.
Any other questions?
Can I make either a perception or insight check on Cassie? Because we just came out of like the ritual, right?
Well, last night, but
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And I imagine everyone's here though, right? Like in
Yep, the whole inner circle.
it's the seer present as well.
Amelin.
So I
Oh, I
want
remembered that without looking.
Yeah. So anyone who was in the like ritual, the fellowship that I saw last night, and Cassie, I want them either perception or insight, whatever.
Sure. That is going to be instinct.
Heard. That's a
And what are you trying to learn? So I can come up with a DC here.
okay. So at least for Cassie, like I'm just general vibe, right? Because it's been last night we were all exhausted from the ritual, and now we're like brought here as well. So I would assume that we haven't had a lot of time to recapitulate or conceptualize the impact of what just happened. So just general vibes, but also any changes in demeanor for Cassie, but also for everyone I saw at the fellowship, their reaction to this change of plans. Like, at least for them, that more specifically. And I did get a critical success.
Nice. Okay. So, yeah. So we'll start with Cassie. Why don't you let Oro know? You don't have to describe in this what you're feeling. Let him deduce that for himself. But why don't you describe how your character is presenting herself at this moment?
Cassie right now is sort of like in the back of the group. Like if it's a line, she's like a step back or so. She looks not uncomfortable, but just like she looks like she almost doesn't want to be there. Like she looks like she's just very quiet. She's not saying a lot. She's normally pretty quiet, but like more so than usual. She's just minding her own business pretty much, trying to keep her head down, it looks like.
You get a vibe from everybody else there, like almost confusion, but in such a way where they match your own feelings, as in like this is a change of course that nobody was anticipating. And I will say, even with a critical success, what you gain from observing Lucerion is no emotion at all, and intentionally, as if he's not necessarily hiding anything from you. He's basically just a brick wall of nothingness at this point.
Okay.
If there are no more questions, please go attend to your personal effects and your retainers and your troops, and then we will meet at the docks where we will board our ships and depart. So everybody else in the inner circle turns, and chaos ensues as the meeting dissolves into motion. Everybody knows where they've got to go, what stuff of theirs they need to pack up. Some of the inner circle begin issuing commands, but it feels, even though it's chaotic, it's orderly. Everybody knows their place, and that is a little bit unsettling, if nothing else. And immediately, Herman Gansar, who we haven't seen for a little bit, approaches Garrow. I'm a bit sorry about that, my friend. I know you intended this to go a different way.
Yeah, I mean, orders are orders, I suppose.
Well, I'm afraid that I won't be needed here for very much longer if we continue to go scorched earth. But nonetheless, do you mind walking with me for a moment?
Yeah.
I had something made for you, and before the blacksmith packs up, I would like to present it to you. And he walks to the blacksmith, and along the way, Chaplain, I have questions, if you would not mind providing answers.
Okay.
The Emperor preaches that we must not forget. What does that mean to you if I were to say change of course of mind? If your resolve changes, if your outlook changes, does one forget their past or learn from it? What does the wisdom say?
Well, people change over time. People grow over time. I mean, our Lord and leader just had his life within threads of being taken, so of course his path is going to change. That's not forgetting. That's just learning from things that have happened.
If you were to say somebody, I have also no idea if this is the accent I used for him or not, but I'm rolling with it now. If I were to say, have made mistakes in past, should I forget those mistakes?
No. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. It's part of growing. People learn. I mean, some of our best soldiers in the inner circle were once conscripts.
And they bring these experience with them to current position.
Yes.
Thank you, Chaplain. It does bring clarity in my sobriety. And I would like to thank you again. And he reaches to the blacksmith and he holds out a box, a small box. It's about, this, however, like 4 feet long, a little bit, and he presents it to you. And he goes, I hope this serves you well in future endeavors.
Just hit the box.
Yeah, I'll go out. Yeah, it's a little heavy. There's something in there.
Open the box.
You see inside a rapier inlaid with gold trim and rose etching up the side of the blade. And you may now equip an advanced rapier to your character.
Oh, wow.
It does D8 plus 6 physical damage, if one-handed, and quick is the feature that it has. When you make an attack, you can mark a stress to target another creature within range.
Nice.
I noticed you still have that, well, I do not mean to insult you, but your existing blade is not becoming of your station in the inner circle.
Sword is gorgeous, thank you.
Of course, of course. It was not cheap, but I consider it a gift among a fellow diplomat. And I thank you for, at least, if I have made mistake like you, I execute and take my head. So, you have saved my life.
You're welcome, Herman.
I will see you on the ship, my friend. And he turns and walks away. Where would Cassie go at this time?
I think she would kind of linger for a second just to see if Lucerian needed anything from her, and once it became obvious that he was minding his own business, she would go off and make whatever preparations that she probably stopping at like her tent first.
So he does notice you kind of lingering around a little bit. My weapon.
Yes.
What troubles you?
I suppose I'm not sure what it is that you need from me specifically. What I can do to assist you most.
Do you know how a sword kills?
With the person using it.
Sure. But a sword has weight behind it. That is why the blade is of the thickness that it is. But if you were to hit something with a blunt object, you will not cut them, correct?
Correct.
Every sword needs a sharp edge. You will be my sharp edge. And I have something for you to
Yes.
hone your sharp edge. This is a gift from my father to me, and I gift it to you. And he turns, and behind his little area, he pulls out a bow. And this bow is made of driftwood. And the driftwood twists around, and it gets narrower as it goes up this bow, and in the grooves of the wood where it kind of dries and forms cracks is gold inlay all the way around the bow. And at the handle, the knots of the wood naturally grew in the shape of a flame. This will be a gilded bow for you. Finesse, distance far, d6 plus 7 magic damage. And it has the trait self-correcting. When you roll a 1 on a damage die, it deals 6 damage instead. Treat it well, and may it always land true.
I thank you. This is a great honor and a great gift to receive, and I shall strike with you behind me.
Thank you. I do have a request.
Yes.
When we land and before the invasion begins, I would like you, first of all, to ride with battle with me. Witness the destruction from my perspective so that I may train you to lead this army one day. However, first I plan to give a speech to the civilians as a way to thank them for participating in the crusade. And I would like you to be there to witness this speech, for all great leaders must also be great diplomats. I know you wish to probably be in combat with your fellow friends, but we will get there eventually.
That is a great honor that I would be happy to accept.
And one last thing, embrace your change. If you don't mind, I have a lot of prep work to get to, and see you on the ship.
Thank you. And I speed run out of there.
What are you feeling? What is your character feeling right now?
A little bit of fear, just blanket emotion. But she's also very excited. She's got a cool new weapon. She's got a cool new responsibility, ? She's excited, but also very afraid about what is going to happen, both with this new war tactic and also her future personally.
I did, over look this, but I also wanted to ask Garrin the same question. How is he feeling at this moment?
Feels pretty good to get some gold swords. I honestly though, I was kind of wondering, like, what mistakes did he made that he gave me a gold sword? Like, did he like mess up bad or what? Like,
Fuck
is he
up.
trying to get? Is this his like supposedly his like bribe to get out of jail free, or what's going on here?
That's a good question to wonder. Oro, what do you do at this moment?
I'm barging into the seer's tent.
Amelin?
Yeah, Emily.
As you walk in, she's meditating and her eyes have gone to white. So she's seeing currently.
I kind of like, I get up close. I lean over. I'm like face to face almost. It's like, interesting. You know, that's 0 for 2. 2 things you didn't see today. The Lucian and myself barging in. Hello?
Oro, she says to you,
You seem
do
busy.
you watch people in the shower too, or is this just me that you like to intrude upon?
You flirt. I am married, though. That's 3 things you didn't see
not.
today.
You're married to the ocean. It's not the same.
Like, I know she can't see me, but I pull up my hand, wedding band still on. I think the law might disagree. Let me get you out of your stupor. Can you stand up? Do I have to lift you? Like, what does this process?
I will not stand, but speak.
Sure. I sit the same way she's seated, right across from her. This is great and all, but so 2 things, several things. 1, also out of, frame, I still have the dagger. No one asked for that back.
Do you?
Yeah, no one, like, Chaplain and the other guy let me walk out with the dagger.
Is it on your person?
I would have left it during the ritual, but I would have seen it in... What, did I see it in the tent when I came back last night?
Yes. Where would you have taken it after
Then,
that?
yes, that's why I'm asking, because I would have brought it to the seer.
Okay, yeah.
Several things. 1, I communed with the dagger. I mostly smelled a strange phenomenon. Also, very lazy safety regards in terms of letting people walk out with it. 2, what do you make out of Cassie last night?
You're in the inner circle, are you not?
Of course.
Why would it be unsafe to let you possess the blade?
All I'm saying is, for something this dangerous and no one to keep track of where it's gone, that's a little... I'm not surprised the
According
assassin
to
got close.
Theodore, the part of the blade that made it dangerous was the potion that laced its edge.
Sure.
So it's just another weapon.
You know, all I'm saying is now you're 0 for 4 of things you didn't see.
Do you know how seeing works, Oro?
Yeah, you go into the water, you drown, you pass out, and then, things appear to you.
You possess a quite simple outlook on divination magic.
I suppose it served me well.
To see is to observe and predict one possibility in an ocean of a billion.
Yeah.
To put it in terms that you might understand, to attempt to navigate the strongest current in an ocean of a million. Do you always pick the current that takes you exactly where you intend to go? Or do sometimes you have to reassess and work your way back to the path that takes you where you want to go?
That's theological and all, but what happens after I drown is beyond me. That didn't answer any of my questions, so...
What do I think of Cassie? She's a powerful witch. She is our Lord's new chosen.
That's... Oh, okay.
What do you think of Cassie?
I pull out the picture I have of Cassie. Her passed out. Do I still see, like, the... No?
No.
Even while holding, like, having the blade on me?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I have something for you. Can you do your seeing, navigating, riding the, not the size of the wave, but motion of the ocean kind of thing with this?
Sure.
Hand her the picture.
She takes it.
What do you see?
It just doesn't work like that.
Oh,
I have to meditate on it.
okay.
You wish to observe?
You got any food around here?
I do.
Then yeah.
And she begins to see. A short time later, her eyes open, and she takes the photo, and sitting next to her is an incense burner. Aura, what do you see when you look at this image?
I saw Lucian's new weapon passed out in the middle of a fight. And then I saw Lucian's new weapon being harassed by otherworldly powers.
Would you consider yourself perfect, Oro?
Yes.
Do you know where you get your magic from?
Yeah.
From where?
I look up to like where the moon would be if it was nighttime. Celestial light, right?
And where does that magic come from?
Look, I was not allowed to read or even learn how to read once you and your people ended up taking me away. So any possibility of me learning that enlightened me. And that's a moon pun.
So, the magic exists in darkness, and the Emperor brought stability to that magic, allowing... What the hell was that?
The Emperor.
It was the Emperor's magic. Before his teachings, mages would explode. They'd destroy entire villages with uncontrolled power, unable to control the weave. But now that the Emperor's here, sanctioned mages, which are those that are not killed, are taught how to use their gifts, or in cases of yours, possess an unnatural ability to do it on their own, which is why the chaplain rose you from conscription. You possess the ability that none others have. You are not trained, you are not mentored, you've controlled it on your own. If magic is not studied and understood, it can drive a user insane, and the forces that allow to use a caster come from magic and gods and immortals that were never supposed to be able to use that magic, save for genetic mutation. Over centuries, is given a glimpse into just but a small portion of that power. Perhaps I challenge you to see, as I do, that what affects Cassie is that same power, but is no longer just a glimpse. Just an itsy-bitsy crack of magic is enough to satiate a parched soul. But if one were to accidentally slip on the lever and open the floodgates, it could drive a user mad. It could kill them and everybody around them. But if she is able to contain such magic without, isn't that not the greatest gift from the Emperor? I see what you see in this image, and what I see is somebody using magic that would kill a normal person, and harnessing it for the will of both our Emperor and our Lord.
Wow. Do you think the blacksmith can prepare you a pair of glasses? Because now I'm convinced you're 0 and 5. Not a good look for the inner circle's seer.
What do you propose to do, Oro? What do you want?
What? I think it's a little too late for that, right? What I want and what I have right now are two different things. I am a little upset that Cassie's getting a pass, whereas when it came to me, I got locked up for a book that you now get to keep.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Can I make an insight check? I saw her.
Sure. Yeah.
What a bum.
It's instinct.
Okay. All right. That's a 19, 20, 21, 20, 22 with hope.
She says it in sort of a way as if to imply that we don't talk about these things outside of these things. Like we don't.
Clubs, you don't talk about
yeah,
Fight
we don't
Club.
talk about Fight Club, type of a thing.
Oh, now you're sweating, huh? Now you're on thin ice, huh?
You talk of heresy openly in front of Lucerion's seer.
Now we're...
Oro, be careful about making threats that you don't have the power to follow up on.
Who's threatening? I'm eating right now, having a lovely conversation with the inner circle seer. One inner circle to another, right?
And ignoring everything she has to say.
No, I'm paying attention. Doesn't change the fact I don't like that smug look on your face. So, Cassie gets a pass. I got you.
Oro, you get a pass too.
Yeah. Took what? 10 years? 15 years?
You hold grudges where they do not belong.
That's how you see it, huh? What about you, Seer? Can I see that? Where's your origin story, you know? What poems do they write about you?
They do not write poems about me, for I do not need the glory.
Okay. Anyway, what do you want me to do with this dagger?
Keep it. Or give it to me. I don't care.
I'm trying to remember, like, when I communed with the dagger, all I got was, like, the scent. I know the poison that was laced on it, but other than that, it's just an ornate dagger.
Yeah, it does possess some sort of magical ability. You haven't quite learned how to activate it at this point. She says, may I also suggest giving it to the one person that you know can protect it without using it?
Who?
Cole.
Oh.
He doesn't possess magic that you know of. To trust more than somebody that can't use.
Yo, Seer, you're 0 for 6. And I produced a picture with Cole being revered in the city.
She kind of chuckles a little bit and she goes, you have to understand his past to understand where he is now.
I'm saying, to say Cole has no magic, he just moved an entire population. That's divine in its own way.
Charisma is not magic, Oro. Maybe if you're nicer to people, you would understand.
Yeah.
Speaking of nice to people, do you understand that the photographer just wanted to look up to you? And you've turned her away at every step. You're mean to her, Oro. And all she wanted to do was learn from the greatest.
That's why Cole has a girlfriend and you don't.
Two girlfriends.
Again, I'm married.
If you stop pushing people away, you will find the beauty in life.
Now, Seer, you're 0 for 7. Your rates are just going down. I have seen beauty in life. I've seen it crashing against the waves. I have seen it in the endless expanse. I have seen it in the moon. Don't talk to me about beauty like I don't know what it is. Like, that's not the only thing that carried me through the years as a conscript. Don't worry, I'll ask the blacksmith to produce some glasses before he finishes packing up. But I also wanted to ask, because you also seem surprised by the change of tactics. You really think there is no negotiating? Nothing left for us to do? Is that what you were meditating on?
Do you think that way? Or do you think that there's another way?
My entire life has been about limiting choices for me. So of course I think there's another way.
And what would that other way be?
Something that doesn't involve scorchers.
So you believe in making peace with heretical deities?
You just told me that all magic comes from dark places.
It does.
So,
These people can't control it. These people are being manipulated by it.
yeah. I guess to a certain extent so was I. Was I not?
You get a vote, Oro. It is no one else's fault but your own if you keep that vote to yourself.
I mean, to be fair, when Lucian said no speculation, I don't think I was in a position to vote. Neither were you, neither was any of us.
We have meetings outside of just meeting with Lucerion. Maybe here's an idea. Voice your concerns to his new favorite weapon and see what she can do.
Can I make one more insight check on, more specifically, now that the conversation's been a bit heated, I'm like, is she gonna snitch? What's going on with her?
Sure. Instinct 20.
Deal. Oh god, this is gonna be, I can already feel it in my bones. 17 with hope though. Wait.
You can use something to succeed though, right?
Huh?
Can't you just automatically succeed?
Yeah, with fear. I'm trying to see if I can. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Where is that? Is that my witch feature? Witch charm? Yeah, I guess I will spend 3 hopes to succeed with fear instead. I need to know if she's gonna snitch though.
No. Actually, you sense that this is like she doesn't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is why I respect you.
Good day, Oro.
And thanks for the food.
Of course.
I get up, get out my tent. I open the case, pull out a cigarette, put it up. It's a bubble cigarette. There's
You
no
see
smoke.
something under your pillow when first thing that you notice when you walk in.
Back to my tent.
Mm-hmm.
So, put out the bubble cigarette and then go into my tent. I'm not gonna smoke indoors. I sleep here. I check under my pillow.
Is a blade, and on top of that blade is a note. It says, "The fellowship stands by those who stand by themselves." And it is a ghost blade. When you pick it up, it almost seems semi-translucent, the blade, like it's not there, and then you like test it, you touch it, it's definitely there. Presence melee, D10 plus 7. Physical or magical. It has the property otherworldly. On a successful attack, you can deal physical or magical damage.
Can I pop it? Can I, like, for flavor, can I use it like a bubble blade?
Sure.
Yeah. Boop. But it's like cheese, basically. Or like in the gourd. So whenever you're like...
As this is going on, what is Cole doing?
So this is the first time he's been in a leadership position, but he knows Scorched Earth. He knows kill everything in his path. So for the first 2 minutes, he's sort of waiting for orders because he's not used to like this I'm in charge sort of thing. So he's just sort of waiting for a second. And if no one comes, you're going to start heading over to his shock troops, his men. So you're gonna head on down over there.
One of your soldiers comes up to you. Sergeant.
Yeah.
Our brother that passed in the city.
Yeah.
The men and I were going through his stuff, cleaning up his tent, taking it down.
Good.
And we found something that he would want you to have. And he gestures and somebody else comes over with a quarterstaff. It's only right that you have it. We know you don't prefer weapons, so do with it as you wish. It is an advanced quarterstaff, instinct melee, D10 plus 9 physical damage, two-handed. And that's how you do a shopping scene without being in a store.
I take the staff and I just sort of whack my own hand with it, like just a sort of like a baseball bat. So I sort of get the weight of it, take it, sort of swing it, get some good swings in. Well, it's a fancy stick. I'll remember them. I should write something on it. So I take my like claw and I try to like etch in memory of, and that's it. I don't know if I'm spelling it right, but just like right. I'm like, thank you for giving this to me.
Of course, Sergeant.
Now, I assume you've heard the orders?
No, we haven't heard the orders yet.
Well, no more treaties, that's for sure. So, going scorched earth.
We get to do what we do best.
Yeah, what we're built for.
What we're built for.
Well, gather up the men, get them ready. I don't know how well we're gonna make it through this. That's what we're built for.
An honor to die under your leadership, sir.
Yep. Honor to die. That's what we do best.
It is what we do best. But our most skilled talent is taking a lot of them out first before we...
Yeah. We don't just die. We kill first.
Say, the men were placing bets. Do you want to get on it? In on it?
Absolutely.
How many days go by before they promote you to lieutenant?
I think I'll die before I get lieutenant. What's the odds on me dying first?
I can be honest, no, there's only like 3 people out of the whole company that say you die first before
Put
they
me
promote
down
you.
for 3 coins. I die first
You think so? All right.
before they promote me.
But if you do die, how are we going to get you your money?
That's for you to figure
We'll
out.
spend it on a nice funeral pyre.
Bring it down to hell with you.
Will your shell burn if we do a funeral pyre, or will it?
I don't think so. I would like it if someone turned it into a shield or a battering ram.
What about a nice table?
I'd make a great table. It's a bit scratched up.
Nah, a shield's probably better.
Shield's probably
we might
better.
be able to make 3 shields out of it. It's quite a big. You're a big.
Yeah.
Dude. You're a big dude. Well, it's an honor to serve under you. Have you seen the special ships that they're bringing in?
I haven't had a chance to look at them yet.
Yeah, they're bringing in troop carrier ships to take the whole host at once.
All right.
You remember the galleons that we came in on?
Yeah.
They're like triple the size, catamaran, dual hull. Most of the men probably won't get seasick this time because of the double hull.
Well, good for them to keep their lunch.
That's true. I hear they're serving lobster tonight.
One last meal, I guess.
That's what they say is when the lobster comes out, bad's about to happen.
Well, eat up, get your protein. I don't want you dying for nothing. So, train up, get ready. Bring hell. Prepare hell.
So say we all.
I can't wait to eat lobster.
What else does anybody do? We're going to do a bit of a time skip, as we don't need to talk all day about how the camp prepares, but I'll open it up to what other people would like to do.
I have a question. Do I need to keep track of arrows for my fancy new bow?
Yes.
Okay.
You start with 20.
20 arrows.
Garrin, when he gets a moment alone, he wants to kind of skim through the recent happenings in his book, his recordings, and there was one passage that he kind of stops at where he wrote, "What is the truth?" and he kind of just wants to ponder that.
And if I'm not mistaken, he wrote that instead of answering the voice that he heard that talked to him, he wrote, "What is the truth?" And immediately underneath that is something wrote back. And it is, for the first time, not your handwriting. Everything else that seems to have been written in the book comes across as your voice. And you write, like, "What is the truth?" And something has written back, "The truth is what you see."
Okay. That's it.
Do you think that or say that out loud or anything? Or is that more of a question to me? What would your character think when he reads that just very clear statement of a nothing burger?
I mean, I'm kind of curious. He's curious about who even wrote that. Like, what is even... I don't think he really understands what he's even communicating with.
Will you be our herald?
Right, but who is that? Who's Harold?
His herald. Our herald. The herald of truth.
Garrin's gonna write in there, "The flame is the truth." Let's see what happens.
Nothing happens at the moment.
I'm going to Cassie's tent. I do knock. Unlike the seer.
Staring at the... She's just staring at the wall.
Flap of the tent. Just... What's the what am I?
On the flap of the tent.
Yeah.
Like rustle a little bit.
I make the noise too.
Each tent does have a little bell on a post outside it that you ring.
Ring, ring, ring.
Yes, who is it?
It's Oro.
Come in.
I come in. I make myself comfortable. I don't know if this is like a shoes on or off kind of tent.
She's got her shoes on.
Okay, I got my shoes on. I make myself comfortable. If you're staring at the wall, you
Yeah,
said,
just staring at the wall.
like on a desk,
like
chair.
just like
or...
sitting on like my bed or whatever, just
Okay.
staring.
I lean against like the dresser where you're like directly like within the line of sight of where you're staring. So, weapon. You seem like a blunt object more than anything.
All right, that was a little rude.
I've been told to work on that. Let me rein it in.
Who told you that?
Regardless, someone who's in desperate need of glasses. But so, how are you feeling? I meant to check in on you as a friend. Ha ha ha.
That's a loaded question. It's a lot, but I just wanted to apologize for my outburst the other day. That you were just trying to check on me, and I appreciate that. And
Oh no, not at all. That's probably the coolest I've ever seen you.
yelling at you?
More so stronger in comparison to I pull up the photo.
It's try to snatch it.
I pop it like poof, it's in the bubble now.
I don't know why you still have that.
History. Hard jokes aside, I was also told to it can never be that simple, right? I am wanting to check in on you as a friend. I also wanted to ask you to do the impossible.
I'm not good at that.
Please.
What? What do you need?
Change Lucy's mind.
I don't know how you think I'm gonna do that. Or... to what? Change it to what?
Scorchers isn't really our only option, right? I know you know that.
Of course I know that, but there's not much I can do about it.
You're his weapon.
I'm a weapon, not an advisor.
Weapons cut down, right? Weapons defend as well.
He is giving a speech before we do anything crazy. I might be able to speak with him then, but I can't promise anything.
I know that. I like knock on your dresser. Oh, sorry. Get up, like stop leaning. Anyway, I also wanted to ask, where do you think you get your magic from?
The Emperor?
That's what I thought too. And I walk out.
Bye. That was weird.
I do have one last thing I want to do, but I don't know if anyone wanted to jump the spotlight. I also want to go see the photographer later in the night, though.
Okay. Yeah, she's packing up, and you walk in as she is putting away her final flashbulb. That's the last one that she has left, and so she's packing it very carefully so that it does not get broken.
You're gonna need that. Walk with me.
Okay. And she walks with you, kind of head down.
Down the shore. I'm intentionally walking towards like the sand beach area with the moon set.
What can I do for you, Oro?
You know, I'm married.
And I'm a lesbian.
Thank God, actually, that makes things so much easier.
Minus one girlfriend for call.
Oh no! I'm ruining my voice shot! Damn.
We got one chance.
Yeah, I thought we conscripts stick together. Sorry about that. But,
Oro, did you think I was interested in you?
No, not at all, actually.
Okay.
I say that because it might be hard for me to, look, if you know, I don't want you on the front lines. I don't want you anywhere near this campaign.
You were right, Oro. War is no place for civilian. I thought it was going to be something that it didn't end up being.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. That was... I should have listened to you in the first place.
I awkwardly, navigate, trying to, shoulder, you know? Poet sly. All the time. But I did want to show you, I had a conversation that reminded me what helped me persevere through all this, and I wanted to show it to you before. Are you gonna be there tomorrow, or are you packing up to go back?
We all have to go. It is the Emperor's will that we record, but I'm glad when I found out that we would no longer be involved in the front lines documenting things. It's a relief. As maybe I can put my gifts to better use in camp.
That's what I was trying to... I like you a lot, actually. I know I might not always show it.
Did you know that I'm from the same region that you are, Oro?
I always
We heard
picked up on the accent.
we heard a lot about you, and that's why I joined this host in particular. I got the top of my class. I could have gone to any host, but you have inspired a lot of people back home. They sing songs about the injustices done to you.
I start like I'm laughing, and now it's just sobbing.
I don't mean to make anything this worse, but if I can find it in my personal belongings, I fear I may have lost it, but they did name a ship after you, in fact. It's a fishing ship, so it's nothing big or fancy, but they named it the Oro. I took a photo for you. I wanted to give it to you when I saw you the first time, but that do you remember when I asked you if you were busy later and you kicked me out? I wanted to give you that photo that night.
I pull out from like my, storage, 3 different rejection letters for transferring to, I believe it's the 6th host?
Oh, the 8th host is the one that's here with the ships.
Yeah, but I wanted to transfer to like the moon. I thought that was, right? The Moonwake host, the 6th host.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Death Under the Moonlight, Yep, okay.
You were chasing me while I was still trying to run. I'm gonna tell you something I've never told anyone, which is why I also want to bring you here. I don't, right before I drown, when I commune with anything, right? There's a brief moment of utter dread. I'm physically drowning. The water reaches its maximum spots in every crevice, every nook of my lungs, right? And there's a brief moment where I pray the same prayers that they teach us in conscripts, right? Like in conscription school. But I also pray to sand. I pray to seaweed. I pray to the moon. And that's usually the last thing I pray to before I go out. A little bit of heresy between us now. Consider it my curse to you for following me all the way out to this godforsaken land.
I can't wait until this is over, where we can go home again. And maybe we can celebrate together. When you're no longer a soldier and I'm no longer a historian or a photographer, and we can enjoy our families, can enjoy some fish caught on the Oro together, and maybe say a little prayer with a little bit of heresy.
Wouldn't it be nice to think so?
Well, it sounds like we're get there quicker now than we would before.
Do you mind, I'm gonna engage in a little bit of corruption here, I guess. Well, not political corruption, but it's just personal.
Of course.
And take some leverage of a fan, really. Do you mind getting a picture of me?
I actually don't have my camera.
I told you to bring it with you.
No, oh, you did?
Yes. That's fine.
What do you, I can do it in the morning before we leave.
No, it had to be with the moon. Here. And I post up by the shore with the wave. Quarterstaff was my gourd, very the best regal pose was a one presence that a cowboy could muster. And just commit it to memory.
Did you know I can draw?
It's okay. I want you to remember me like this. And thank you. In inner circle, Cole aside, you're probably the only person I could call a friend here.
Oro, I thought you and Cassie were tight. What happened?
Oh, that bum? I can't hang out with people who look like this in the middle of a fight.
You're gonna die and don't even know why.
She starts to laugh. I'm glad that you kept that photo.
Well, history needs to be known. Never
Did
forget.
steal it from me. And then she like nudges you with her arm.
Never forget. We can fade to black, you know?
That fucking picture.
Oh God. All right. So if nobody else has anything to do, the next day, the 8th arrives, and you all board these massive ships. You guys end up boarding with the Witch Corps and your battalion and Lucerion, all of the Inner Circle, and about half of the civilians all fit on this ship. About 1,000 in total fit on this massive ship. The quarters are cramped and tight. Cole kind of has to walk a little sideways to fit through a lot of these corridors. His bed is notably, he's in a double room that has been rearranged for a single bed.
Shoved together.
Yeah. There is no room for luxuries on a troop transport ship like this. Everybody, including the Inner Circle, the only one, in fact, that gains a little bit of space is Lucerion himself in the captain's quarters. The ship sets sail. It'll be about a 2-day voyage to the mainland. It sails beautifully. You don't feel anything because of the multiple hulls kind of absorb the shock and just a massive weight of these ships, which is why it takes so long. We're not going to focus on what happens every day, but there are multiple events and scenes that take place throughout. First and foremost, though, I do want to open it up if there's anything that you guys would like to do on the ship specifically before we go to these individual scenes.
So this is a unique moment for Cole to have 2 days to do nothing on the water, where he can do the only hobby he really has, which is fish.
She got a moving boat.
Yeah, so the entire time, whether it's effective or not, he is out there with a rod, just casting. And you never see him this neutral, really. There's no expression, and it's peaceful, which is like a strange thing to see this big coal monster of coal. He's at ease for like the first time you've probably ever seen him that way.
One day when he's fishing, I go up to him. Catch anything?
Absolutely not. We're moving way too fast.
It's a long way down. I didn't even know they made fishing rods with lines that long.
Yeah, I had to tie a couple just to. Sometimes it doesn't reach the bottom, but it's not the fish. That's not why I do it. Just reminds me of home.
As you're out there fishing, you see up alongside, coming about around the troop transport ship, is one of the siege breaker ships that has the massive chains on deck that they lay underneath the water to blockade. Basically would like ruin the keel of anything that ran it over. You see this ship just slowly like overtaking. Huge ramp in the back. You see the 8th host flag fluttering in the wind. A sea with a jagged white spire coming out of the sea. And another ship you see basically a floating fortress, a command ship of sorts with multiple ballistas just all the way lining the ridge of the decks of the ship, and it's an impressive sight to behold. The last ship that you see from this side of the ship is of particular note in that it's a fishing ship and it carries behind it a massive drag line. And you watch as you're fishing one fish at a time, this massive net being hoisted through pulley systems up on deck as some of the 8th host soldiers begin sorting through fish as smaller boats with sails that allow them to travel quickly bring yesterday's catch that has been prepared to all of the other ships in the sailing fleet to keep them supplied.
You just got showed up.
Yeah. I used to be a pescatarian.
Really?
Yeah.
Why'd you stop?
They don't serve just fish here, and they don't really take kindly to special requests. So I sort of eat what I gotta get my protein up. So, but yeah, when this is all over, I'm trying to get a fishing ship myself.
Ooh.
Maybe join the 8th, see if they got anything left over. It's a peaceful life.
I don't know if I can imagine you sitting on a boat for 12 hours.
It's got to be a
fishing.
big boat. Is the main thing.
I think anything small would just
sort of starts to sink a little, take on a little bit of water. But no, I feel at home. Grew up in swampland, more or less. Yeah, used to come out fishing like this all the time. Yeah, not much of that anymore.
I think Garrin just wants to keep tabs on like what the sentiment is with like the troops and the crew.
Motivation is at an all-time high. People are excited. You just had a 2-year slog through an archipelago that it was just tiring at the end of this campaign. To begin anew, to go to a different place, to change up tactics. People are
But like the other officers on board too, like some of these other.
They are spending a lot of time preparing. If there's any that you specifically would like to go and talk to.
Yeah, what was I think it was Malcolm Praetor.
Sir Praetor Malcolm Bain.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the second in command guy.
Yeah.
So he's available to talk to.
What do you think about the new change of strategy that we're going into?
It's unique, certainly. We are a host that specializes in rapid vanguard strikes. I feel a lot of us have just maybe gotten out of touch with that, getting into protracted sieges. So, on one hand, it feels good. The cavalry especially is ready to go. In fact, the 8th is transporting some special weapons for us to this new fight that we have not yet been able to use to capitalize on, because we've been in these protracted sieges and catering to diplomatic missions. So, I mean, that is our specialty, decapitate the enemy before they can respond. Whether it is the right thing to do or not, I don't know if I have an opinion on that.
Yeah, Lucian seems to believe that either way these people are doomed.
I don't know if I necessarily agree completely with Lucierion's thinking that there can be no other way, but maybe we leave that to another one of the hosts.
I mean, if we destroy everyone, then there's not going to be anything left. And what would we even be ruling over?
I don't know as if we're going to destroy everybody. I don't think he said kill innocent people.
I guess that would make sense. If it's just killed out.
I mean, there are always casualties. The innocents do die. More so when we do go scorched earth, but I don't think anybody in this host would intentionally target civilians. And in fact, it would be my hope that you and Warden Atreides would punish those you would teach otherwise, and the warden would carry out, especially the conscripts, keep them in line. But I don't have any mercy towards those that would take up arms against us.
Yeah, I agree. That makes sense. I agree with that sentiment.
Because we're here for several nights, right?
2 nights. Yep.
2 nights. There's really only 2 things I would want to do. One is Nature's Tongue. Make an instinct roll. DC is 12. And find out what the water is saying, essentially. And it's a 14 with fear. With fear, it says, on a roll with fear, their knowledge might be limited or come at a cost.
You feel peace from the water. Like this land has not seen conflict. The cost is that you hear the whispers, even this far out to sea. Even the water knows what you did to the trees. And you will take a stress. And that stress will carry with you throughout the first interaction that you have.
Heard.
And while we're here, while we're on you, let's have that interaction.
Oh.
So, this scene, you're walking around the ship. It is late in the evening. The air feels warm as you walk down this deck below the waterline. You hear voices, like a muffled talking, just the bass, as if a group of people are communicating off in the distance. Loud enough to know that there's a gathering. But not loud enough to really be able to hear.
Mm-hmm. First and foremost, can I try to, whether sneak or try to get closer without making too much of a sound?
Yeah, give me agility.
Before I do, though, I'm gonna mark another stress to glamour myself. So I look like... Give me, in this instance, who's probably well-respected? Give me Cassie. You're the new weapon. I'm gonna, and then I'm gonna sneak.
Okay.
So I mark a stress. I look like
I'm gonna get thrown overboard.
And can I spend a hope for seafaring cowboy?
Sure.
You're like the demigod's new pet, right?
Exactly.
That is a little... Well, I guess not wrong.
Okay. And that's a 15, 16, 17, 18. That's an 18 with fear. And if it's that DC's not enough, I can spend another hope to get a plus, because we're in a natural environment, right? We're on the ocean. With Nature's Tongue, I can spend 1 hope to
That'd
get a
be
plus
good.
2.
Yeah, there's no one really down here. This is more like storage area.
Okay.
So as you're sneaking, trying to locate, and you're on a friendly ship. There's not really guards.
Gotcha.
But there are like chefs, like the 8th host, people that work on the ship do occasionally walk around, coming to get some stuff. You sneak around, you find where this noise is coming from unseen, and there's a door. And you, having walked around throughout the day, got the lay of the land, on the other side of this is the main cargo hold. And you hear conversation happening on the other side of that door. You can give me instinct to hear any of the conversation if you'd like, or you can maintain that stealth roll to crack open the door and peer inside, in which case you would not need instinct. You would be able to hear without.
Okay. Based on general passive perception, I guess. I know this isn't D&D. I've been on the boat, right? do I know how much noise the doors make when they're being creaked?
They're pretty well maintained. Expert, like this is the 8th. This isn't your ship. Your ships might creak a little bit, but this host, they live for the sea. So this is a very well maintained ship. Probably wouldn't make very much noise.
WD-40, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, then I would creak it just a little.
You see beyond. The Fellowship is gathered in this room. They wear no symbols. They all wear cloaks, same as before. Rank and name is meaningless in this place. And they're just mingling and talking, having fellowship. However, something catches your eyes. A figure with his back facing you is tall enough that could only be one person, and that person would be Lucerion or his brother.
Or Cole. Yeah, no, okay.
Is in this room as well, mingling.
Is he like hunched over because the ceiling's like too low for him?
But and you hear that's why these decisions must be made the way that they are. Thank you for understanding, of course. Oh, I'd love a drink. Thank you. Did we bring the other books with us? Very well. Yes. I will please have it delivered to my room, and I will read it. Kind of the conversation vibe. And then you hear like friendly conversation, like, how has your armor been fitting? Just small talk, stuff like that.
Crazy work. I'm disguised as Cassie.
Sure are.
Yeah. But the seer's probably gonna be in there. So I was able to hear though, have the book delivered, right? Can I scope out based on how much I have creaked, how much of the main cargo hold do I know, at least like floor plan wise? What does it look like? Is there another exit? Is this the only exit?
There is another exit. It would be to the forward part of the cargo hold that would lead into the chain locker where the anchors are.
Okay. And there's no entrance other than that first one to okay.
Correct.
My next step, still disguised as Cassie, because it lasts until I mark a hit point or make an attack, or take another rest. I would like to just take a general lay of the land, scope it out, and then wait until, and I can disguise yourself to look like any other creature, approximate size. I want to intercept the delivery.
Okay. So this keeps going on, and they're meeting, and as everybody begins to leave, they come out, and you observe multiple people carrying crates as they come out, and they're all together. So I guess I would ask, how do you plan on taking that delivery now, or how are you going to intercept it?
So I met one of two ways, depending on how the scenario played out, right? Either following whoever has the crate with the book, and then disguising myself as the messenger to and deliver it to Lucy's abode, or still disguised as Cassie, talk to the the courier who's bringing the book over. Hey, Lucy's asking me to bring the book over to him. I already know it's the book. I'll take care of it from here.
Okay. So I would say then that situation, it would be hard to determine which book is which. So you might want to do the second option, where you scope out on the way to his, so you can intercept the person. And one of the just a normal legionnaire you see in the hallway, on his way to Lucerian's quarters with a book in his hand. So you see that as happening.
Oh, I'm happy you just came from the seer, I believe.
No, sir.
Discuss this.
Oh,
Cassie.
no, ma'am.
Interesting. Anyway, I know you're bringing a book to Lucerian's cabin. He actually asked me to be the one to bring it to him. I can sign off. However it is you want me to do this.
Give me presence with advantage.
I'm gonna forge my signature.
Yeah, buddy. Oh God, I'm awful at this. Can I spend a hope? And by hope at this point, I mean my armor. For the Fickle Tide experience, illusion magic as a witch.
Yeah.
Bars. That's not good. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Would a 16 get me a pass, or do I got to spend hope to succeed with fear?
You're gonna have to spend some hope.
Okay, I'm willing to do that.
And
succeed
the
with
reasoning being
fear.
here is you have no reason to believe that Cassie knows what the Fellowship is, so
Yeah.
this person would know that.
Sure. Well, I'm not trying to portray as. I'm trying to be like, I've already spoke to like Lucerian.
Right,
He's
right.
actually asking me to be the one to deliver the book. So I don't need to know about the Fellowship. I just need to know Lucerian
Right.
asking me to bring
This
the book.
person is like in with Fellowship knowledge, though.
Yeah.
There'd be really weird.
Sure.
So why don't you spend hope and add whatever that adds to?
Oh no, it just makes me succeed with fear.
With
though.
fear. Okay. And we're gonna spend that fear and take a stress
Okay.
from how just nervous that this is making you feel.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Okay. I guess, ma'am. Please be careful with it, and hands it over to you.
Okay. I got my book bag. We cooking.
Well, look at it.
No, I'm not looking at it yet.
You're not gonna look at it yet?
No, I'm just took it from a courier. He's gonna be sus if I like open it right then and there.
Well, I mean, like, if you look at the cover of the book, it's a different book.
Ah.
It's like a book you haven't read.
Would I be able is it bound? Like leather bound, it's meant to be open. Can I see the cover, read the title?
Yeah, it's like a textbook, like like an educational textbook, a hardcover book.
On what subject?
History of the world.
Oh, I don't like that.
Oh yeah, I'm aware.
The ominous roll of the dice.
Cassie,
Oh,
at this time, is on her way to talk to Lucerian. And you hear her voice coming down the hallway.
What do I have for this? I got things for this.
do you?
I will cast. Because you're also heading that way, right?
Yeah.
I will cast Death Grip on Cassie.
What does that do?
Do you see her?
Against a target was in close range and choose one of the following options. I imagine she was in close.
She will be once she rounds the corner.
Okay.
You want to wait that long?
I mean, I don't really have
You wanna
an
take that risk?
option, right? Because I guess what I'm asking now, like when she rounds the corner, would the courier see her, or is she coming from towards his back or her back? I should say.
The courier, let's just say the courier is gone, has gone off. You're in a hallway. There's a T intersection behind you.
Gotcha.
And down the end of this long hallway is the captain's quarters where Lucerian is. So the courier already went to the left, and you hear Cassie coming from the right.
Do I hear Lucerian's voice?
No, you wouldn't hear him from here,
Okay.
or he's not talking.
Sure. Do I hear what Cassie saying? Is she like in the middle of a conversation or?
She's alone. She's not with them. She's
Talking
coming
to myself.
Yeah, because you said she's talking. That's why I was like, oh god.
Oh,
I'm just talking to myself.
self-talking.
Okay.
Give myself a pep talk.
Oh, the anxiety.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I imagine you'd be self.
I can do this.
I'm like, okay, I got this. Be calm. Everything's fine.
I mean, that part's fine then. If she's talking and the courier's gone, I don't have to necessarily death grip her.
Yeah, please. No. What does that do though?
It wouldn't cost you any. The option I would have picked was I would pull myself to the target into melee range. You would be restrained. But that's a price I'm willing to pay.
I'm sure it is.
So no death grip. I do get closer to, like, I start speed walking, you know, like trying to keep composure, but also he's gone, okay. Cassie, I say in your voice.
What the fuck?
I like round the corner where the courier's like no longer, and I turned into the courier that I just saw.
What the fuck?
Look what I found.
I don't know what that is. I don't know who you are.
There's how many? I just turned my face back into Aura.
Oh my god. Jesus.
I've done this to you before.
Yeah, I know. You think I remember every little party trick you have?
Ouch. But
Why were you disguised as me?
your new boyfriend is kinda.
Whoa. Back up. Huh?
Well, I assumed.
I'm a lesbian.
Oh. You know, I'm so happy that there's so many queer people in this on this ship. I thought I was alone here. No. Okay, solidarity, cool. No wonder we're friends.
You're really losing your girlfriend now.
All of them.
I've got 2 dads. I know how it works.
Were you in the poet also?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was just gonna say, kind of messy of you, but anyway, your new admirer is into some radical stuff.
It's history. Isn't that like the whole point?
Sure. I open a
this?
random page. I can't read this. I have a -1 in intelligence.
Don't know how to read.
I can read.
Okay.
Not well.
I just take it and start like reading whatever page that.
Yeah, this page that he turns to is about one of the city-states before in the before times, which would be kind of confusing if you don't know the context of what you're reading. But it talks about an ongoing trade conflict between these two city-states and how greed is. They want more than they're being offered, and it kind of sparks like this conflict. As you're skimming, you see a section where one of the nobles offers a marriage alliance to kind of come to some sort of resolution and avoid a war, basically, is the page that he turns to.
Why do you have this?
Long story. But this was en route to your new boyfriend's place.
We already established.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. And he's kind of in charge.
Oh, interesting. Didn't know you were, the type to just blindly allow authority to do the very things they're telling us not to do.
I think it's a little different if he is the one ordering this. We don't know why he needs it. I don't know why you need it.
I don't need it, okay? But everything I told the seer is starting to be true.
When did you talk to the seer?
It's none of your business. But look, I want to still like you by the time that this is all over. If this means nothing to you, whatever. You give this to your new boyfriend. But if you do see a fault with people in authority doing the very things they're telling everybody else not to do, work with me. queer to queer.
Pride Month. I'm on my way to speak with Lucerian right now, and I was going to ask him if he thought Scorched Earth was our only option, which is what you asked me. You're asking a lot of me right now, by the way.
Welcome to everything that's been happening for all of our time here. You don't think Cole and I got asked a lot?
I will bring this to him. I will say that it just got shoved at me, that Courier just gave it to me since he saw I was on my way, and I will ask him about it. But I know that we have our differences based on just simply how we were raised and how we came into this war. But I like to believe that our leaders are doing the right thing. Don't like that dice roll.
That's fine. I've got very little hope left to spare for us.
I like to believe that there is something, that if they say something, it's for a reason. If they do something, it's for a good reason. I know that you may disagree.
Spend a fear to make the chaplain just happen to walk by.
And I'm holding this text. Since I'd shove it back in my mouth.
Yeah, I'm not even
Silently,
taking
he's
it.
just like walking through at this point. So
I have great perception. Do I can make one if needed as well? The instinct 3.
yeah, go ahead and just give me presence. Or no, not
Presence?
presence, instinct. I'm sorry.
I got so scared.
If you hear him coming, which will give you kind of an opportunity to not be surprised by him coming around the corner.
That's a 14 with fear.
Definitely not.
Okay, that's fair.
So you just come around the corner. They're too busy talking
Arguing.
to pay attention to you, and you're just. I don't know. What would you be doing? Why would you be walking around at this time?
Yeah, I actually want to know, what are we even going into? Like, what is the battle plan?
Okay.
Nobody's really talked about their strategy at all. It's just, we're going in Scorched Earth, but like, what are we? Are we sailing in? Are we just like storming the beaches of Normandy right now? Are we like battering ram a gate? What are we doing?
Very valid. Good. So you're thinking that you walk around the corner. Boom. They're talking.
And do I see her just shove the book in his hands?
Yep.
And I'm like,
Can I see what the title is?
Your book.
Oro. I didn't know you
I'm a
were.
courier right now, dude.
Your face is still Aurora.
Yeah,
you said,
no,
right?
I'm
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh, you're about to be executed.
gonna get this poor courier
Jesus
executed.
Christ.
Is this book actually like heresy? It's just a history book, right?
Well, initially, unless you were to actually do any sort of reading, it just looks like a history book. It's not until you were to actually read where and when it came from that you would know. So on surface, no. It in and of itself doesn't immediately go, witch burn 'em. History books exist now. They're just rewritten.
I mean, literally. Which, bro.
Cassie, I didn't realize you were a student of history.
This is a
Chaplain.
delivery for Lucerian.
Weapon.
I'm headed that.
And I start.
Which would be on point for a courier.
Yeah.
Not, there's 2 outranking officers here. That's my cue to fuck off.
Yeah.
Okay. It's Carrier handed this to me is apparently for Lucerian, and I'm headed that way myself. So
Is he available now?
I wasn't sure. I figured I'd ask.
Okay, we can go there together. Then.
Alrighty. Like holding this book.
I am assuming, and you can feel free to say otherwise, but you're going to sneak back and you want to listen into this conversation?
Yeah. I wanted to even steal a page, and now that's out of the window. But
That's what you get. That's what you get.
So, yeah, you go up to his door.
I knock.
Yes.
My lord, I was handed this package by a courier for you. The book, I believe.
Come in.
In the door. Also, the chaplain's here.
Oh, Garrin.
Day your radiance.
Pleasure to meet you this hour this evening. I'll take that book. And he takes it and he puts it underneath his desk. How can I help you both?
Yeah, I just wanted to go over what the what the battle plan is. It seems like the men are all in good order. The officers are encouraged to go to war.
Yes.
But I don't know if anybody really knows what we're sailing into.
Orders are being given out. So you will receive yours before the battle plan begins. But no, we are going to set up, and as soon as camp is set up out of sight of the city, we will march. In fact, this is going to be a really dangerous mission. So we're expecting heavy resistance. We're expecting counter siege warfare, heavily fortified walls. So you'll notice that the 7th host is preparing elixirs for fire resistance and coating armor to be able to repel oil thrown over the wall at us. There are beasts as well that we've heard that we might be facing in the town, and a lot of arcane magic. So the intent here in keeping things secret is that if one group is captured, they don't know the whole battle plans. In fact, in the morning, we were going to actually give you a little bit of heads up on this. So I'm glad that you came to me tonight with this. You're going to go with Oro and assist the Witch Corps in the city, and you're going to take the conscripts with you, and the conscripts and the Witch Corps, and you will lead the front assault. Do you think it would be advantageous to have Cole and his company with you?
Yes, I would love to have Sergeant Cole with me.
Very good. I mean, that's it. You'll lead the left flank attack into the city.
Okay.
We have the center flank and the cavalry on the right.
Okay, and I'm assuming you have battle maps and everything ready?
We appear to, for the best of our knowledge from Forward Scouts, battle maps. Though I do want you to be aware of some new weapons that we have, just so you can be prepared to calm the troops when they see it. Have you ever seen a dragon?
No.
We've been blessed with dragons. And First Praetor Sir Malcolm Vane and myself will be riding into battle on a dragon. So we don't want to alarm.
Is that the special weapon?
This is our special weapons.
Oh, Malcolm Vane didn't even he hid that from me.
Yes, I did tell you that orders are kind of being held tight to the chest. But we will not ride into battle immediately. We do not want to play our hand too early, but should you see dragons, know that they're with us.
So we will take the left flank. What are we entering through some kind of gate, or are we being...
Yes, yeah, the left flank will hit the main gate.
Okay. And then you and Malcolm will fly over and scorch everyone with their dragons.
It is important, though, that you do keep troops away from the dragons. They are untamely beasts, so they do not identify friend from foe. That's why we ride them to direct their attacks, but on the ground, they show no mercy. So just be prepared to corral the troops.
Okay. Okay, I will wait to hear more in the morning, and with that I'll take my leave, and he'll just like stop and look at Cassie, and he'll just say, what you did the other night was really good, saving our commander here. And with that, I'll use my inspiration words to give you hope.
Ooh.
Bardic Hope.
Very good.
Okay.
And
As-
then he'll walk out.
Yeah. As soon as he leaves, kind of turn to the Zarian. I have a question for you, if I may. And I apologize if this falls under the umbrella of speculation, but I see this as a learning opportunity. Is there a reason we're choosing to go Scorched Earth as opposed to any other option?
That is our name. Like, the fourth host is the Vanguard. I fear you and many others have forgotten our core, our specialty.
It's been a long campaign.
It has.
And there's no other options? This is our only choice?
Listen, just because you are my weapon, a weapon does not choose the target that it is swung at. It is not your place to question.
Of course not. I was just simply wondering about the logistics of it, if nothing else.
You will join the Witch Corps eventually, but you are going to learn how to be a dragon rider.
Oh.
That's why you have been told nothing. This was going to be my gift to you, but your questioning and incessant pestering is kind of making me regret that decision.
I apologize. I don't like surprises, I should say.
And that you would intercept a courier bringing me something just to use your favor.
No, this was handed to me. I was just on my way here to ask a couple questions, same as the chaplain. I honestly don't even know what that is, other than a book. Can I use a Deaf Deceiver to spend a hope to gain advantage on a roll to deceive or trick someone?
Yeah, you're going to need that because you have to make a presence check now.
That's what I'm good at! Alright, I get advantage, but I get special advantage because of my thing. It is a D10. Okay.
And you're hearing this.
Oh god. Okay. That is a 17. Oh, that's a lot. 26 with hope.
Yeah.
Advantage.
Very well, thank you.
That's all. I thank you for the opportunity to ride a dragon. That is, wow, a lot to think about.
Cassie,
Yes,
keep this quiet.
of course. Thank you, and I leave.
We're going to stay with you for a moment, but I do want to give you the opportunity. Is there anything else that you do knowing all of this happens?
This is rather ambitious. Actually, this part can wait. I'm gonna use like the commune feature, but I can do that.
Okay.
So.
You to ride a dragon. I'm jealous.
You can ride on my back if you want.
I pretty much
Right?
will. Like last time, I basically did. Well, it was like right behind me. I didn't really ride.
You're
but
like kind of a dragon.
I was like, trying to push you forward.
So I'm assuming you go back to your quarters at some point in this evening. As you close your door, the ship is steady, rocking slowly. The ocean can be heard through the hull. You have an outside quarter that's like on the edge. No balcony, of course. Not that
Little
luxurious. Little porthole. As you're sitting there, the lantern in your room, the flame begins to bend towards you, almost as if it is listening in. Your shadow, cast by this flame, stretches along a curved iron wall, and it begins to move when you are still. Ever so subtly, a presence settles into the room.
I thought we would never be alone. Do you remember me? You hear?
And it's like my shadow kind of talking, or is it just...
It's not necessarily talking, but there's a voice. And it's not in your head, or at least it doesn't sound like it's in your head. It's in the room with you.
I believe I do, but if you'll be kind enough to tell me your name.
Names. A funny thing, names. When you're what I am, they do not give you one. Would you like to give me a name, Cassie?
Not particularly.
Do you know what I am?
You are the power that's in me.
No.
Oh.
I merely was the gift giver. Do you know what I am?
No.
Some would call me a demon. They taught you to fear that word. Demon, monster, corruption. Names given by an emperor that survived by deciding who is allowed to be beautiful.
And as he says the words beautiful, the candles go out and a face comes out of the darkness and hovers in front of yours. A black, singed, volcanic face with glowing yellow eyes and pitted, yellow, sharp teeth. As he begins to speak, you see rows of teeth where teeth should not be, and no tongue. It looks at you with unmistakable pride.
Did you know the tweening bird that nests in the place that you call home? The tweening bird flees its nest before it is grown, and it never returns. Do you know the tweening bird?
Is this an attempt to scare me?
No, my dear. The tweening bird is just like you. Leaving home, forgetting, trying to go to a place where which you will never return. I gave you a gift, my little tweening bird. A blessing from the Loaming King. The power to matter.
The candles flicker. Your shadow is gone. You have no shadow.
Peter Pan type shit. No shadow at all.
No shadow at all.
Ooh. But everything else is just like normal.
The flame is still pointing towards you. The fire's at like an angle.
Just like to the room. Say, I have always mattered and I am nothing of yours. Thank you.
Whisper in your ear, as if it's over your shoulder.
To them I am a demon. To the world beyond the flame, I am the most radiant angel there is. And you're right. You do matter, my little tweening bird. It is only conditioning that makes you see horns where there are beautiful wings. And I serve you now, my little tweening bird. My master, I have given you the gift. I saved your life, my little tweening bird.
You feel something touch your shoulder. A pressure.
You were never meant to obey. You were meant to end things, to help him see the truth. And you did this. You are his weapon now. All you have to do is to want it too.
What do you gain out of this? What is your motive for saving my life?
If you let the king in a little more, if you become what he wants you to be, my beautiful master, then I will rise in station. I can be your weapon, as if you are his. Allow me to do your bidding. Allow me, my own tweening bird. You feel it. I know you do. The heat beneath your skin, the light behind your eyes. You can become what you already are.
And what of my friends, my life? What happens to them?
You can make them tweening birds too. I give you a choice, my little bird.
And he describes the following choices. You may accept his gift. You will immediately gain 1 level. Your fear die permanently becomes a d20, however. Or you can fully embrace it and let everything in, and you will immediately gain 2 levels. Your fear die becomes a d20. Your hope die becomes a d6. Or you can reject him. And what happens if you reject him? I'm not going to say until you make that choice.
Oh God. There's so many choices for me to make. Do I have to decide this instant?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh God.
You feel a pressure on your other shoulder and whispers into your other ear.
I beckon you, my tweening bird. Let the Loman King in.
Guys. What the fuck?
So before you decide, what is going through your character's head right now?
A lot of fear. That's kind of like a base level constant at this point, just a lot of fear in general. But there's also a little bit of like, what if I could be powerful? What if I could change the world and take my friends with me?
Yeah.
What if I could be all of this? But then also, she doesn't trust this thing that calls itself an angel. She doesn't trust that. But also, what if? Oh God. I will take the option of 1 level in the d20 for fear. I don't like that face you just made.
Your skin becomes ashen. You, almost as if you are covered with dust, and it is painful as it slowly begins to dry. Your eyes begin to turn yellow. There's pain in your tooth. It falls out of your mouth.
Okay, she might be a heretic.
Oh, now you're figuring this out? All
You
right.
feel it being replaced. Just a little prick right now. It's sharp.
This is what it feels like to make a difference, my tweening bird.
And you see it now, semi-translucent, as you slowly transform into what you are becoming. You now can see a little bit into an ethereal realm, and it places a kiss on your cheek.
Call me when you need me, Master.
Fire returns to normal.
What the fuck? I go to bed.
Before you go to bed,
God.
the rune that was burned on your thigh is spreading. It now covers from your knee to your hips.
Yeah, I'm going to bed. I'm gonna Peter Parker this. I'm just gonna go to bed and wait and hope nothing happens to me. Oh God. So is it just level up and then d20 for fear? That's
Yeah,
okay.
your fear die will permanently become a d20. plus all of the negatives that you already have.
Which is awesome because you can roll 8 higher now than you would.
That's but then if I
But you generate a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks for
I'm taking it. One of the options was find out. I don't want to find out.
Guys, I haven't generated any fear today. You guys are screwing me.
vacation.
This is a great trip for me, guys.
Fishing.
Yeah.
So it would be worth knowing. I'm not going to tell you what would have happened, but it would have been better to reject him. The choice is made. It would not have been bad.
It's okay. It's okay.
Back to level 1.
We didn't even start at level 1.
Now while we wait, go ahead and level your character up.
Yeah,
as we
okay.
wait.
You're gonna need some pretty good makap.
And if you
of
need
drag.
cards, let us know.
Okay.
We're going to move to Cole.
All right.
We're going to get some attention. So this will be the last night into before in the morning. As you're walking around, go ahead and give me a agility reaction roll. So this does not generate hope or fear.
19 plus 2, 21.
So Theodore comes right around the corner and he runs into you. He was not paying attention. You're big. You're in the way. Nothing happens to you. You are steadfast. You're agile. You can, bumps into you.
You all right?
Cuts himself a little bit on your shell. I was actually coming to look for you, my friend.
Oh, well, I'm easy to find.
Actually, a lot harder to find. I've been looking for like an hour, to be honest. This ship is so damn big.
He's gotta be on top deck.
Thought you were in the right hall. I thought we might sit and talk.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've caught up with you. I
Sometime.
raided the good stash.
What'd you get?
A lot of beer.
Oh, hell yeah.
Come with me, my friend.
I'm following him.
So he goes to the chain locker. He kind of sits in the chain. Blub, 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 blub. You go, my friend.
Take it.
Do you mind if I ask you what's kept you alive all these years?
What's kept me alive? I mean, the obvious one is the fact that I'm a monster of a man with a shell bigger than most people. Makes me a little bit hard to kill. I know how to use my claws. Got good troops behind me most of the time. Or are you asking on a much more touchy-feely level?
Well, that's why I bring the alcohol, because I figured that this would be, you'd need to unwind a little bit, but no, I guess I just have we haven't really ever talked about your past. And in a way, I feel like a kindred spirit. I almost ended up in the fourth host with you when we were going through selection, and it was only my knack for potions and brews that got me sent to the seventh, so we never really did get to talk about it. What kept you alive back then?
I take my beer. I finish it. Oof.
Pours you another one.
I have not been allowed to die or give up.
Do you want to?
I like to give up. But I got a job to do. Someone's always got a pretty tight leash around my neck, and I do what's ordered of me, and I survive.
Do you or did you ever choose to fight, or has it always been survival?
Well, I have the best parents. 2 goblins. They were in the exotic animal trade for a bit. They found a big egg. A little guy came out. not so little guy. And, before I could walk on two legs, they put me in a ring. I was in there, fighting anything. Other little reptiles, alligators. Pretty much anything they could find, but I was good at it. Man, I liked being in the ring when I was little. I don't know if I had much of a choice in it.
I remember those days. Different place, but I too fought in the pits. That's where I got this scar from. And he takes off he wears a metal plate kind of around the left side of his head, and he kind of takes the plate off. And he sets it in his lap, and his scar visible.
Quite a wound you got there.
Yeah.
Why do you hide it?
Vanity.
I ain't got none of that. But I do like putting on a show. Always got better tips that way.
If you'd ever been given a real choice, would you have taken it back then?
I had an opportunity to leave it behind. Well, there's not a lot stopping me from doing anything. I mean, look at me. I could walk away. I don't know where else I'd go. I'd picked up some fishing on the side, but all I know is fighting. I don't know if there's anywhere else for me. What about you? You like being a weapon like the rest of us?
I forge a path of my own.
Sure you do.
You don't see it yet, but I promise, Cole, you will. You will shortly. If I could offer you a way to have your life back, would you take it?
I don't think there's a way for me to find my peace anymore. That died with someone.
What if we were to just stay here and drink and miss the
fight?
Miss the fight.
They
Or
kill
at
us.
least be a little late to the fight.
Can't lead the siege without me.
I think that is the first mistruth that you've said all night. I think that the Empire would do just fine without Cole. I think Cole just needs to make that choice. Make it as I make it, to be a little late, to indulge our senses, to enjoy where there has been no enjoyment, because we deserve it. And he pours more alcohol into your drink.
He looks at the glass. It's a decision he could make on his own at this point. And boy, would that feel nice to make a decision on his own. He starts drinking, and he starts to finish that second, third beer that's handed to him.
Partway into the conversation, in the drinking, so I heard you're learning to write.
Well, my spelling might not be what it normally is. It's never good to begin with, but yeah, I've been taking lessons. I had to learn the alphabet, learn to write, hold a pencil, not break them all at once.
Did you know that learning to write and being able to read, pour some more, is one way to gain and to become magical?
Magic.
Here, I know. Let me show you something. And he, do you trust me, Cole?
I trust myself. Go on ahead.
Hold out your hand, and he pulls out a dagger. And he takes the dagger and he cuts your hand. And he holds out a vial. In here, my friend.
So I just bleed into that?
Just in there.
I just give it like a good squeeze to get anything
perfect.
out.
Thank you, my friend. This blood, right? If you mix this blood with the right concoctions, it becomes magic.
Really?
This blood right here. And all you have to do is know how to read the right scripts, the right recipes, and your blood can become magical.
All right, I'm listening. What do I got right?
Well, maybe we start that tomorrow when we're not a little drunk, to be honest with you, but I'll save this and we'll come back to it. We will make your first potion together. As you learn to write, I will teach you to become a mage, maybe.
A mage?
A mage. Or at least maybe the ability to, I don't know, make stamina potions or something such on your own.
You know what? I'm on a new chapter. I'm learning to create for the first time.
Absolutely.
I'll put in a potion.
All right.
Write me down.
All right. That sounds wonderful. To the past and the future as we make it.
To finally making my own calls.
Hell yeah, Clink. And he continues to start to tell stories and you guys spend the night drinking, making your own choices. And we'll take a short break.
Do you want to give us money? I'm hoping the answer is yes. You should join our YouTube and Twitch membership, whatever that's called, for exclusive emojis, early access to streams, and post-stream debrief exclusives. And also, eventually, maybe, we'll be able to move out of Tyler's basement. Hopefully. Please.
Well, Oma's upstairs dropping stuff all over the floor.
It's a nice basement to sleep.
It's actually pretty good.
It's a great basement.
Fantastic basement. Better than mine.
Donate today.
Relationship advice. Chocolate chip cookie recipes. The collective wisdom of the populace. What do all of these things have in common? Reddit. However, not our subreddit. Our subreddit's where you can find all of the latest rumors, trends, and hypotheses that our staff, our team, and you can also feel the DM's plot hooks. So if you want to give the players a head start and an insight on what the DM might be planning, feed them with all the ideas at our subreddit. Insert subreddit here. And also check out our Discord. We post a lot of memes, a lot of custom stickers pending, a lot of artist artwork pending, and you get to talk to all of us, which is amazing. So please check us out. I am desperate and lonely. Thank you.
Do you like really cool art? And are you sick of my crappy drawings? Well, we are taking submissions. You can follow the link to the email address on screen now to submit any fan art that you may be creating for this campaign. We'd love somebody to do scenery, like these landscapes to picture our game and include, and we'll play it back with social links and shout outs during intermission.
All right, so we will take a little zoom out, and then I zoom back in to the chaplain. Your turn to get traumatized.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Great time, guys.
You're down a girlfriend.
That was my best week ever, though.
You are down.
Give me 3 levels and a
I thought you
D20.
didn't want to be a tuning bird.
Throw in a couple more ability cards.
You're sitting alone, and you hear,
Who is it?
Chaplain, sir, Annalise, I'd like to talk to you if that's okay.
All right, and he'll open the door, and at this point, he's like not wearing his uniform. He's kind of wearing like pajamas, but they look fairly resembling a uniform. Like put together.
Pajama set.
Someone wants to draw that. Go
They're just a
ahead.
little bit
The
more
vest
comfy.
on.
Metal still on.
Sir, I don't know. When you speak, Chaplain, the room feels steadier, and I was wondering if you had a moment. I'm just so confused.
Who am I talking? I forgot.
Annalise, photographer.
Oh yeah, come on in. Yeah, come in, Annalise.
She comes in and she sits down, and she's wearing a nightgown as well, kind of a regal nightgown.
And there's probably just like in here there's just like a little reading desk and a chair, and then like you could barely pull it out, and like right next to it is like a cot, and a chaplain will just sit on the cot. And
I guess I'm a little lost. I feel like everything that I've been doing is for naught.
Can you explain? What do you mean?
Well, I take pictures of things that aren't there. Things walk through the ship, and I think that I'm taking photos of them, and then they disappear, and my photos, they curl up at the edges, and the ink begins to bleed inward, and it's just, I'm beginning to doubt myself, and that seems heretical. And I was wondering if you have any insight on that.
So are these just things that you're seeing, or are they actual physical things happening? Like, do you have any pictures on you that this has happened?
Yeah, and she pulls out a photo. I went to take a picture of Cassie this afternoon because I noticed that she doesn't look well. Do you see her in this picture?
Do I see her in the picture?
She's not in the photo. She does not appear in the photo.
What is it a picture of?
This was a picture of Cassie.
And it's just like a empty street or whatever?
Oh, it's just the mess hall. It's just the dining facility in the...
I mean, which one is she? I don't see her.
That's the problem. And it's not just her. I see things walking through the ship, and I take photos of them, and they don't show up.
You see things.
This I guess is where I think that I'm heretical. Am I forgetting? Am I seeing things that aren't there?
So let me ask, as like a player, what makes somebody like, can you be forced to be heretical, or like, is it like if something possesses you, does that make you a heretic? Or is it something that you have to like kind of choose? Like, what is...
I don't think that there is a solid answer for that. And I think your character, that might be a struggle that he has to decide in this moment. But from a background standpoint, there is no real answer in that.
Because like if there's just like a demon on the ship that maybe one person can see, does that... I don't know if that necessarily makes them a heretic unless they're like actually
sure, and
like conversing with that.
And maybe we could give me, actually this would be a perfect time for a roll. Give me an instinct roll.
That is an 11 plus 0 with hope.
Okay. So with a DC threshold of 10, you can learn. I mean, there was the 15, you would have gotten more. But with a 10, it would not be hard to kind of pick up from her that she doesn't know what she's seeing. She's not putting 2 and 2 together here. Mm-hmm. So she has no idea she's witnessing demons. She's more questioning herself and her own sanity.
Mm-hmm.
And
Annalise was the one that was being choked by it?
That was Calliope.
That was Calliope.
And I'd also say, give me knowledge as well. I'll have you do a knowledge as well.
That is an 11 with fear. Oh, wait, hang on. It's 12 because I get to add 1.
Okay. Again, with a DC of 10, 15, you would have gotten more knowledge. Actually, give me advantage. This would be clearly something that you would have advantage. So D6 and add that to the roll. This would be something you would 100% have advantage in and know.
That's another 5. So what did I say? Was it 12? So 17.
Perfect. So you gain what you need to know on this. As a chaplain, morale officer, you quite frequently deal with PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
She is very clearly self-doubting herself and what she sees, in addition to not putting two and two together, because she experienced a very traumatic event, and now she's questioning, is she a heretic?
Right. And that's kind of along the lines that I was thinking as a player too. So
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you came to me, Annalise. I mean, is it so it's just really things that you're seeing? You're seeing things that, like you said, that aren't there, but have you like interacted with anything? Has anything talked to you, spoken to you, whispered in your ear?
Why do you ask that question?
I'm just trying to assess the situation and see what's going on.
I hear voices, but they seem to come from places that don't exist. Like, I open a door and that door leads nowhere. It's just a wall.
They just tell you where to go?
No, I'm more like eavesdropping, if that makes sense.
Interesting. I mean, but so you hear a voice on the other side of the door and you go there. Can you understand what they're saying? No. Are they speaking in a different language?
It's almost like if you're trying to... I don't know much about your childhood, so forgive me if I'm overstepping, but did you ever have parents that gossiped and they tried to talk in such a way as to not hear you, and you tried to listen in through the wall, and you can't make out what they're saying, but you know that they're saying something? It's almost like that.
It's like a muffled voice.
Like a muffled voice. And I try to hear, and I try to go, and I try to see and document, as is my duty, but then I open a door, and the door leads nowhere. To walls. Who puts doors that open into walls in a ship?
Yeah, I haven't seen any doors that open into walls.
I just question my reality. And I think that makes me a heretic.
I think the questioning... I think that is a dangerous line that could happen when we start questioning things like this.
And after you say that, I will spend a fear. And you hear...
You are incorrect.
Did you hear that?
You heard that too?
Yes. Shit. Chaplain, what was that?
Have you heard that voice before?
No. And she starts to shake.
Darrow, your book edits us out. Your hesitation delays us. You are already a herald. You simply refuse the title. One amongst you has already turned and agreed and seen the truth, and yet you refuse.
What do you mean, one amongst?
Why are you talking back to it? What are you doing?
Darrow, this is the moment where your belief matters. We cannot stand by any longer. Are you our herald, Darrow?
Herald? What does that mean? What does it want of you? What is happening, Chaplain?
I do not know. But I too have heard some voices recently.
Is that one of the voices?
Ever since the city, it has been haunting me.
She takes her camera and she stands up and she goes, "I'm sorry, I have to leave." And she goes to try the door.
I'm gonna stop her.
You're gonna stop her?
Yeah.
You stop her at the same time she goes to pull the door handle, and the door is locked. Chaplain.
It'll be okay.
Your book sitting on your counter flips open, and the pages.
Will it be okay, Garrow?
Something crawls out of the shadows in the room and coalesces, and it attacks. And it attacks you.
Okay.
And
Guys, how cooked are we?
as it attacks,
Your choices have consequences.
and it will spend a fear. Your hope die becomes a D8 until you roll a success with hope or your next rest.
My hope die becomes a D8.
Yep. So when you roll, that'll be your hope die.
Dang. Nerfed.
As if you need.
Where's my 3 levels?
Well, maybe you'd accept it like I did.
And you can now act.
Yeah. I'm gonna say the Emperor. I'm gonna spend 2 stress to get my Book of Norai in. I'll get rid of, I guess, this one because I don't think I need it. And then I'm probably just gonna end up killing myself. So I'm gonna shout. I'm gonna pull out my new rapier and shout, "The Emperor protects." And since this is like really the only attacking spell I have, I'm gonna cast a fireball in the room.
This whole ship is going down.
Go for it.
With my nerf D8. Can I use a thing to like give myself a boost? Can I use Voice of the Emperor to give myself a +3 if I spend a hope?
Yeah.
Yes. And that is a 15 plus
With fear.
3, so 18, so 21 with fear.
That will hit.
So, oh wait, I don't even roll. Hang on, I did this wrong.
Oh, okay.
It said, oh no, make a spell cast. Okay, yeah. So 21. It says within very far range, on access, hurl a sphere of fire toward them that explodes on impact. The target and creatures within very close range of them must take a reaction roll 13. Targets who fail take D20 plus 5 magic damage.
So the first thing that happens here in this is like all happening in like seconds. You notice that what looks at you is a shadowy version of yourself, and it is crying in just pure despair. And you rolled a success that's with fear, so your hope dice stays the same.
Also goes. Oh, I have
Yep.
to roll hope.
Yep. It does hit. So it makes a DC 12, you say?
Yeah, reaction roll 13. Oh, I'm toasting everything in this room.
Oh, including Annalise. She's just a photographer. Not on the boat. Lesbian down.
Right? I was about to say, Cole finds out she's gay. It's like, well, I guess she can burn for all I care.
One less with the GSA. Oh god.
That fails. So how much damage we do?
So it says D20 plus 5 magic damage using your proficiency. So do I like add my proficiency to that?
D20 plus 5 using your proficiency?
Yeah.
Would mean that if you had like a proficiency, you 2D. Wait. Yeah, 2D20. Yeah. So yeah, whatever your proficiency is, using your proficiency will double the dice or triple or whatever.
So 19 plus 5, 24. And then I think, do we both also have to roll reaction?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. So I got a Is reaction a?
What kind of reaction
Yeah.
roll
Is it like a?
It just says must make a reaction roll and then 13. So I rolled 14. So I take half damage. So it was 24. So I take 14.
12.
Yep, 12. Sorry.
But
Which is
And that was with fear?
It's a reaction roll.
Oh,
that
that's
was
right.
with. Oh yeah.
Does anyone at least make one?
I'm going to say that in the heat of combat, you don't keep track of and notice what's happening with Annalise. However, you do take 0 damage from your attack. You don't know why. A flash goes off, and you hear something drop and shatter. But it's gone. It's no longer there. As the wind settles from the photograph floats down and lands on your bed. The photograph that Annalise just took.
Yeah. Pick it up.
It is an image of Annalise standing in front of you and the demon, absorbing the blow, stopping all of the damage, and there's some sort of energy coming out of her, facing the demon. It's kind of unclear what's happening, but you see a halo around her head. And she's passed out on the ground.
Is she alive still?
Yes, she is breathing. You can go ahead and make... well, no, you don't even have to make knowledge. That's fine. Yeah, she's breathing.
I'll try to take her to the... drag her to the medical.
So as you're on your way to taking her to medical, this happens so quickly, but now people are starting to come out in the hallway. Chaplain, what the fuck was that?
I can't explain right now.
Is everything... we need to do anything?
Just help me get her to the medical
Of course.
station.
As you're taking her to medical, she opens her eyes and she is just looking at you and just watching you as you take her to the medical. She says nothing. She's just staring at you. And you get to the medical bay. You hand her over to the medics, and they begin tending to her. Chaplain, thank you for bringing her here. What happened?
We were attacked by a demon.
On the ship?
On the ship.
And get the watch. And somebody runs out of the room, and they begin to go do whatever it is that they do to raise the alarm. What can you tell us about what happened? She appears extremely dehydrated.
Well, the demon came out of my book, and I started blasting. And she saved my life.
Interesting. Very well. Well, I'm sure you have matters to attend to. We'll take care of her. Thank you.
And go back, grab the picture if it's still there,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna go alert Lucerian.
Do you do anything with your book?
I will pick it up. I will grab it. Yeah, I will take that. And does it look weird? I'm not gonna open it. Does it look weird?
It feels and looks completely fine.
I will take that, and I will head to Lucerian's office quarters.
When you get there, he's not there.
I'll try to find Oro.
Where would one find Oro at the last night before the
This is the last night?
the last night?
Okay, because the first scene, there was still something I wanted to do at night.
Yeah, we
before.
can do kind of like a rewind.
Okay.
Yep.
So, should I focus on this scene
Yeah.
first, though?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
we'll
gotcha.
do like a little scene dip to you, and then we'll be good.
At this point, is it nighttime?
Yes.
And would I have heard that there's a demon on the ship?
Where would you be? In your quarters?
If it's nighttime, I'm up on like the main deck.
Probably not. Not yet. This is happening like below. So if he's gonna come directly to see you after doing that, he might be one of the first people to tell you.
Okay. Because at this point in the night, I would be enlisting Cole.
I'm drunk.
Yeah, he's nowhere to be seen.
Oh, he's nowhere to be
Yeah,
seen?
he's in the chain locker.
I need someone from your troops. I need someone strong. Honestly, it's just the main concern, and somewhat trustworthy, because I will be tying 50 feet of rope onto my ankles and basically using me as a fishing lure so I can commune before we reach the side.
So he probably gets up there just as you're like tying off and getting ready to climb over the side.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Chaplain. Oh, yes, you've never seen me like this. Okay. We can call it a battle ritual.
What kind of battle ritual is this?
It's, you know how sometimes I'm able to get supernatural insights as to, like, what to do for the mission?
This is how you do it, by being bait for sharks?
No, that's not really. Usually we're calmer, waters, but this is the best I can do with the given circumstances.
This seems
I'm a
like
little embarrassed, actually.
Suicide. We can't lose you the night before a big battle.
Chaplain.
Anyways, I think we have important things we need to discuss.
Anyway.
Yeah, I would agree. Hence why I was gonna jump off, but okay.
Is Cassie here? Have you seen her?
Cassie? Not since the first night.
Are there a lot of people around us?
The deck is pretty busy. Yeah, everybody's preparing for the invasion to start in the morning. So they're preparing the sails, the anchors, the deboarding ladder. It's going to be like a combat deboarding where the ramps drop and people en masse just start leaving. So it's quite busy.
We can talk back in my quarters. You seem a little distressed.
Yeah, let's go somewhere private.
That being said, like, people aren't paying attention. They have their own jobs to do. So
have you seen Cole?
I'm not because I've been with Cole in other like campaigns, right? So I would at least have some knowledge of his like pre-battle, like he's either drunk in the middle of a fight, like just a friendly bout, or eating, I would argue, roughly a third of what's left in the reserves. But I don't. Also, is there any other ritual? Yeah, could be. Okay, could be all three.
All at once.
Listen, and I'll like say this like as quietly as I can. I was just attacked by something. And Annalise just saved my life. Before this thing attacked me, it said that one of us was already corrupted.
Oh. First, Annalise. What do you mean she saved your life? Is she alive?
She's in medical right now.
That's not an answer.
She is right now. She is. The last time I saw her, she's alive.
Okay.
But you're the one I know the most here, so I'm trusting you. And can I do like an insight to make sure he's not corrupted, or do I know?
Sure.
Sure.
What is it? Instinct?
Are you still using the D8?
Yeah. Until you roll.
Thank you.
Until you roll a success with hope.
No, it's still with fear, but it is a 17.
Yeah, I mean, you can. It's still Oro is Oro, and you can allude to how that presents.
Sure. I mean, I'm a little embarrassed. My face is a little flushed. You just caught me about to jump over a ship. Wait, you said it's no longer moving though, right? Like we've docked, or is it still moving?
No, it's still moving.
Okay. Yeah, you almost caught me like throwing myself off a moving ship. Granted, tied at the end of the rope, there isn't any like, I don't have like 2 brick shoes. You know what I mean? So there's still hope that I was trying to come back up. Despite that, under eye bags are heavy. There's been a lot of stress recently. Some fidgeting, but nothing out of clearly tense times, but do with that what you will.
So yeah, you're the only one I really can trust right now. At least I hope. And I don't know what's going on, but I was just attacked by a demon or something.
Is it dead?
I hope so, but it seemed to have gotten away.
Okay. DM, I'm gonna spend a hope, and by hope, because I'm assuming, have we rested? Because it's the second night. Have we taken long rests?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can reduce your thing or gain your stress back.
Oh, bars. Okay. And I'll use my armor slots. I'll get my armor slots back. Yeah, so I'll use a hope for gifted tracker. If I know there's a demon, I can ask the GM a question. No roll necessary, but let me finish. Let me read the full effect. The question I'm gonna ask is, where did it go? Why can't I click on domain?
Yeah, and the chaplain is like clutching his book too. He's just like holding that thing and kind of shaking. But like,
Cole's having the best night.
Yeah. I'm having a great week.
The time
Small slice of life story for Cole the last couple of days.
fishing, getting drunk.
Which way did it go? Like, where was it going? Is one of the questions I can ask.
That's what you're going to ask?
Yeah. Because it's not. It doesn't seem dead.
Away. Like, no specific direction, which you could take just like a passively to mean like banished of some sort, if it isn't direct, like if you can't sense it.
Okay. It seems like it's banished. It's not here anymore. So either you did finish it off or it got what it wanted. But I think if this is about demon, listening to our host, this might not be the time to talk about this openly. Maybe we should go to one of our, cots, space, rooms.
okay, yeah, that's a good idea. And when we get to the room, I'll show Oro the picture.
You see exactly what I described. Annalise kind of shielding and using some sort of force blast halo around her head.
I was going to use this opportunity to commune and get battle ready, but this might take priority. Can I keep the picture to commune with later?
You can take it.
Do I notice anything off the rip? No? Front, back, nothing written on it, nothing bleeding. Okay. Can I see it?
Nope.
I can't see the thing?
There's no demon, even in the photo that he looks at.
Oh,
she's launching energy, like there's something there clearly, but it's not visible.
Do I see the halo?
Yep.
Okay. She should have stayed home. Okay. But the demon is banished. All's well that ends well, right?
I think so.
Sarah. And did you tell our host?
I couldn't find him.
Okay. Chaplain, what do you make of our situation here?
I don't know. The demon clearly believed that somebody here was already corrupted, and you've come to me multiple times with concerns, and I've kind of dismissed them because I didn't want to second guess Lucerian's decision making.
Out of game, did I tell you, did I share my concerns with Cassie when I saw the demon caressing? Okay, so you do know about that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and then you guys talked about seances and.
So I spoke to the seer when we were still at camp. I think you can rule out Cole. She mentioned that Cole has no magic to him. Ironic, yeah. I was waiting for that. Kind of hard to corrupt those who aren't in tune with, right? I mean, they could still turn out heretical, but at least as of right now, I would guess he's safe. I was always worried about Cassie after what I shared with you. If I'm honest with you, Chaplain, I'm not worried about myself. I'm not. I'm like starting to scratch myself a little too much. I'm okay, Chaplain, but I've noticed I've been a little agitated recently.
Agitated how?
Why did you deny me? I know the only witch in this entire host, yada yada. Why deny me the right to go to the Six?
Because you're too useful to me, and that's the truth. I needed your help to rise. I needed your help now. You're one of the only people I could really trust in this. How could I willingly let you go off? And look at what you've gained from being here. You're in the inner circle. You're at the highest position you can rise within the army.
Can I first I want to make an insight check on the Chaplain.
Yeah, instinct roll, yeah.
Not about the emotions of your words. I trust that. I'm more like how firm in your dogma are you right now? I guess that's what I'm trying to get some insight on.
The dogma of what?
Within the faith. But that's not good. That's 7 with hope.
Do I roll against it, or how does that work?
No, with it, let's just say he doesn't really gain much of anything. But if he would have meet a DC, you could give him information based on what you think he would know at that level. But with a 7, no.
Yeah.
Stone cold chappy.
Unwavering.
Yeah. You remember why I got locked up in the first place?
Yeah, it was over some kind of book.
That's the official reports partially. I'm married, right? Technically, I'm a widow, but...
Oh, I thought you were dating Annalise.
No, we're both gay.
Oh, what? Boy, you misread that one.
No,
Wait, really?
I just found out
You guys
today.
are so close.
Well, yeah.
I thought there was definitely seemed like there was some kind of chemistry going on.
I learned she's from my region, too.
Even more chemistry going on. I mean, if you ever on gay, then...
If you're ever on gay!
You guys have so much in common.
I'm just waiting for the right person to come around, right? I do want her to be okay. The inner circle is a little more than Cassie, actually. I would worry about them. I know about that book, by the way.
What about it?
The book that Cassie was holding on to give to the host.
I thought it was just a history book.
Yeah.
What?
Sure.
Wait, why do you know about that?
I commune.
What else do you know about? I don't...
There's a secret within the host.
What kind of secret?
I'm gonna sound so crazy. Oh my god. Chaplain, you said you could trust me, right?
I think so, yeah. Can I trust him? I'm gonna roll it.
Oh no!
That guy.
I trust you.
Was that a success with?
It was a 4 with hope. Oh, it was with hope?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was fear. That was fear.
But I thought
No, that was
success was hope, or is it just whenever
no,
he
it's
rolls
4
hope?
with fear. No hope. Fear.
Oh, so it's a success with fear.
4.
No, 4.
Not
He rolled a
I rolled a
4.
4
But what was your highest
with
die?
fear.
With
3
fear.
with
Yeah.
fear.
Okay, thank you for the fear.
Yeah, so it's like,
So I don't know. I don't know if I trust you or not.
yeah, that's all you.
I think I trust you. I think I do.
Which is funny because you're the one that should be giving me the most.
The seer,
Isolated this session.
Theo, I even saw a large figure, maybe even our host, if not his brother. They have the book that put me away in the first place.
The battle horns begin, kind of cutting you off there in the middle of the conversation. You can just keep having if you want, but now action is happening.
Dude, we gotta go. They had Stan. That's like how you just dropped off. I don't know what to do. Do we go or do we keep chatting?
Last thing you heard is they have the book that put me away.
Why do they have that book? What was it? What even was the book?
It was from. Should we go?
Let's go.
You hear the alarm go off. Do you go? Or do you stay and continue to drink?
I'm gonna wait 30 minutes. This is the first time that he's ever not been on time and a good soldier. I'm more important now. So I'm like, they can't punish me that bad. I give it 30 minutes.
So
and I drink.
As that 30 minutes winds to a close, Theodore comes up. Well, bud, we say we head out. I've got an idea of where we can go to watch the first waves.
We're watching them?
Yeah, I mean, be honest, I don't feel you appreciate what it looks like, the impressiveness. You're always there. You're always front and center.
Feels pretty impressive where I'm from.
I know. Well, you should see your host in action.
You know what?
And then we'll join them.
I haven't seen what my boys can do from the
That's
outside.
the spirit.
I can be a better leader this way. I can see the shortcomings, where they're going. Well, let's get a good vantage point.
I agree. I just got to stop by my quarters real quick, and then I will meet you off the docks, and we'll wander. We'll wander there.
All right, I'm gonna start heading out.
What do you do in preparation for your lazy
Getting there?
Getting there.
So I don't even see a reason to stop by my room. I am my armor more or less. So I'm just sort of like doing warm-up stretches, like and just like getting ready, and then I wander. I just sort of walk to the docks for the first time in a bit. Like I don't run there. I slowly make my way there. I try to carry myself with like an air of importance at that. Like it's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Drunk importance.
Yeah. Stumbling a little.
Theodore meets you, and then he walks and you go, new continent, new campaign. Let's scope out the field of play. And he points in the distance to like a cliff, like a cliff face that's kind of like juts up, kind of Lion King-esque. He goes, I think that would be the perfect place to watch from.
All right. Well, I'm ready to get climbing.
All right. And he continues to walk with you.
All right.
We'll come back to you in a moment. You two got to do your thing. Do you ever go back to your quarters at all?
Do I have my stuff on me? My gourd, my quarterstaff with the bubbles. I have my stuff.
The only thing I will need from you is a instinct. An instinct.
I can do that.
With disadvantage because you are a busy boy.
Okay.
Garrin is like changing into his armor too as we're going. It's just like the gambeson armor or whatever, so it's pretty light.
Take off your pajama medals, put on your real medals.
Exactly.
You said with disadvantage?
Yes.
Exactly.
Like
okay.
You can pretty much throw it over
said
the
instinct.
pajamas a little bit too.
Can I use the instinct roll? Is it tied to either my seafaring cowboy profession? A man is only good for one oath, military-wise, or the fickle tide, having anything to do with magic and illusions. Are any of these appropriate?
No.
Okay. So what's that said? Actually, I'll trust your dice one more time. I rolled a 4 the first time I touched these.
Let's use a
also
demon.
my dice, actually.
Okay, that's a 7, 6. That's a 13 minus 5. That's an 8 plus 3. It's an 11. Is that enough to succeed? Because if it's not, I have an option.
It's enough to notice what you need to notice.
Okay.
The dagger that you've been holding that laid Lucerian low has been taken from you. It is not high enough to know who took it or when, but you're going to need a 25 for that.
Let me use my feature. I will succeed with fear, though.
Go for it.
Yeah. So it's an automatic success.
So, I will say you won't know who, but you know it was taken from you the moment that you went to try to commune, because you had noticed it on your way out. And specifically, I'll say with a success, after noticing that it's missing in your preparations, somebody used an acid in the lock of your door to open your door.
Who's the alchemist again? Is that Theo?
Theo is an alchemist, yes.
And he was in the fellowship meeting too, right? If I remember correctly, or no?
No.
No?
So, because I do want to make sure that we get out of here on time, I am going to, because there is still a whopper of some stuff that we need to get out of the way. We're going to cut through the preparing for the battle. We will go to both of you get your orders, and you know what they are already. So we can go to the invasion of the city in just a brief moment. I want to first do a little bit with you. There is something that is happening in the background. The reason why Lucerian is not in his quarters is you being Lucerian's weapon, who will be by his side. Lucerian moves to a different ship in the Legion that is transporting the dragons. And there are 3 volcanic molten scourge dragons in this ship. And Lucerian is walking with you slowly.
Do I still look weird?
You do still look weird.
Has he said anything about
Doesn't
it?
say anything about it.
Okay.
Respectable.
If you can't fix it in 5 minutes, he doesn't say anything.
Cassie,
Yes.
I would like you to meet someone. This will be your dragon. She doesn't have a name. I figured you'd like to give her one.
Oh, wow.
And the dragon's, it is massive. Its head, think, who here, raise a hand, has watched House of the Dragon? So there is a dragon there called Vagar. And Vagar is an old dragon. And when Vagar is laying in the forest clearing, waiting to be rode into battle, Vagar, when he's ever so still, one would be forgiven for thinking that it was a mountain. So a very large dragon. Its head is probably 30 feet tall. But I don't want our viewers especially to think, oh, this dragon's Vagar. No, this is a beautiful dragon. Despite being a molten scourge dragon, it's not harmed by lava. It is the beautiful nature. So its scales, think iridescent, like onyx. They shimmer purple when you walk by, and her eyes are yellow and gold eyes. Kind of like there's 2 very similar colors, but and as you take in this dragon, the heat of the breath coming out does like that cold winter morning with hot breath as she looks at you.
Wow. Oh my. Wow. I get to name her?
Yeah.
And I like kind of like reach my hand out to see if I can like pet her like nose a little bit or something.
As you touch her nose, you feel the vibration of her breath echoing through, like imagine like a train tracks like vibrating, just this power in her body.
I think her name will be Hope. Because she will bring us to hope, to peace.
Noble. The ships are landing in the morning. You'll stay here on the ship with me. There's no sense in going back. And in the morning, we will go to the encampment.
Yes. It is a great honor to be here with you, sir. I'm excited, to be honest.
Good. And I like what you're becoming. And he looks you up and down.
He's into it.
And as he says that, he turns and he walks away, and he says this aloud, not to you, but he just says it aloud. My blade gets sharper.
Okay.
Scene shift. As you're walking away with Theodore, Calliope actually comes up to you. Cole, sir, I know you're busy. Do you have a brief moment?
Yeah, you mind walking a couple extra yards?
Sure. I can't go too far.
Yeah.
All the civilians have been told not to leave camp. We're being requested.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you've been practicing your writing.
Yeah, actually, I wrote a little message on this staff here, and I just show her the engraving I put that just says, like, in memory of.
Oh, that's beautiful. You had too many M's. That reads in my memory, but it's good.
Oh, that's how I said it in my head.
Oh, well then you did such a great
I
job.
was sounding it out.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. I wanted to ask if you've seen Cassie lately.
Cassie? Not since we first got on the boat. She watched me fish for a bit. But yeah, I haven't seen her much lately.
Well, last week we were talking in the mess hall about a poem that I've been working on. And I told her that the reason that I wanted to get out into the field was to witness the despair and death, and I thought I could find inspiration in that, and I wanted to show her how far I've come with it. And I was hoping that she could bring back tales of this campaign, since we can't get out there. We're not allowed out there, because I would like to be able to finish it. And I was hoping to share with her what I've come up with so far. So if you see her, Lord Cole,
Yeah.
the fire beast, just let her know I'm looking for her.
All right, I can let her know. Do you want this staff? It was Greymore's.
And she begins to tear up a little bit, and she's like, he was so kind. I don't know what to use it for, but I will cherish it.
Yeah, cherish it, and then if someone's bothering you, you just grab it real hard and swing.
Are you sure you don't want it?
No, I got these. And my troops, they stay with me in here. I mark a little notch in my shell each time they die.
Okay.
And you can see it's like a lot of marks there.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. You keep it, frame it maybe, cherish it forever. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now go get to safety.
And you get like 10 steps apart. She turns around, Cole,
Yeah?
and she runs up to you and gives you the biggest bear hug. Thank you, like, be safe. Come back.
I'll be back. I always am. I'll be back. You know what? I'll teach you how to fish when I get back.
And she looks like she wants to say something else, and she turns away and continues the walk. In the distance, you see she goes up as you kind of just like check, and you're like, meh. She meets with Annalise, and Annalise is alive. And you two notice this as you're leaving, getting ready to start the invasion. You pass by Annalise, and she's being walked with the civilians. She's being forced to go to the meeting, and Calliope is helping her.
I'm gonna walk over, put my hand on her shoulder, and just say thank you.
Chaplain, what am I?
I don't know, but you saved me.
Be safe out there.
You too.
Go get some rest, kid. Let us look cool now.
She blushes a little bit. And they hobble off. We are going to do the invasion of the city now, with you two leading the charge. How do you go about this? The left flank. What happens here?
So is it? What do you mean us two? Is it?
Yeah,
all three of
you're.
us?
Well, no, he's.
I'm going to find a good vantage point.
You don't.
God.
I mean, you can give me an instinct to see if you can notice, and if you guys want to do a combined roll of some sort, you can.
Sure, because I got great instincts, dude.
Oh, I crit.
Mine.
Oh.
That's,
Does that mean my D8 goes away finally?
yeah, but
it
yes, a
does.
critical success.
Well, and thank God, because I am maxed out on fears.
And I clear stress, right?
Yep. And you gain a hope.
At this point, you don't notice because he waits 30 minutes, right? So you guys are beginning the attack. You had no idea where he is. Well, we can't wait around. You've kind of taken charge of his boys. They know what they need to do. So they don't need him looming over him. Technically speaking, there is also a lieutenant that oversees their unit. The lieutenant is a little annoyed, but also he's very unuseful. Your boys they make fun of him. He was just put in charge, so they're like, yeah.
I would like to state all my boys are wearing what women wear in video game armor.
Hell yeah!
It's like broad.
Yeah, so it is
It's 40 AC.
nothing. Almost no armor. They got like shoulder pads, like metal underwear, small chains over here.
Very slutty.
Heels, yeah. They are shredded, and they are their armor.
I'm so happy
But
for them.
with a critical, as you are like halfway there, you do notice this overlook, because just tactical mindset, that might be a great place for an ambush to be set up. I should probably check that. And you see at the top 2 figures, one of which is an unmistakable turtle dragon creature. And it is worth noting that at this point, your character art kneeling at the edge of a cliff, that's what your character art illustrates. That's how far in advance that I plan. Improv.
What if he hadn't gone? Just a bit like now.
Is he close enough that he would be able to hear us?
No.
Okay, but I'm assuming
He can see you. You can see him, but you're probably like a quarter mile.
Gotcha. All right, so we are on. So what do we do? Are we on a boat still? Are we marching?
Nope, you're marching. You're full battle formation.
All right, so I just want to address everyone and address the troops and just say, yeah. Unfortunately, Lord Cole, the fire god, is elsewhere setting up at an advantage point. We are going in now to battle with the might of the Emperor behind us, and the Emperor will protect us today, and we will slay everyone who opposes us.
For the Emperor!
And that was my rally, so only Oro gets a D6.
The whole army.
So you get a you can add the result to an action roll, a reaction roll, a damage roll, or to clear a number of stress equal to the result.
And even from your position, you hear, especially your men, like there's the witch corps, they're some of the regular troops, but your corps with them, you hear the whoo.
I join a little, do like a mini version up by myself.
How do we attack? What do we do? Let's go for it.
Start long range, right? Witch court, magic, out.
Yeah, Witch Corps uses magic to hit him from range while the Vanguard charges in. Cole's men probably want to just charge, right? They're probably
You notice that the walls don't appear to be defensive walls. They appear to be just like hastily erected. They don't fully encircle the town.
Well,
When you begin to attack, you attack defenseless walls. It doesn't appear that there's anything on the walls.
oh. So much for Scorched Earth.
Well, no, it could be decoy, could be trap.
I mean, do we notice it? Like, so we're like on the wall now? Let's,
Get up to the wall.
yeah, we'll get up to the wall.
Well, because with the witch court, can we all do corrosive, like, projectile?
Yeah. Think big
Raise
picture.
raise the walls ourselves.
This is
No
not
need to-
necessarily Daggerheart rules here. We're kind of improving and
Wargaming,
storytelling. But yeah, tell me what happens for the walls.
So
One.
oh,
Well, I mean, wouldn't we want to take the wall as a vantage point, like a high position? Like, if there are no defenses, then why wouldn't we just
what if they're hollow?
take them
Or-
over ourselves? He could place to set up defense if we get counterattacked.
They're
then we have to-
hastily built. It's not like they're anything of like they're not good defensive
Think
walls.
wooden pylons just driven in, like supports on one end. They're kind of like this. They've got like a little.
Like Skyrim bandits.
Yeah.
Yeah, which core level it?
Yeah, we gotta level this.
You get to the city. You notice that like what little guards there are, they drop their weapons. And we're talking maybe like a town guard of like 20 people that you notice. And there's no resistance. None of this
Resistance at all?
talk of beasts. You don't notice any at the moment.
Okay, so then we'll gather them to the town square, I guess, and then
Making your way to the town square, you notice that the right flank has also met no resistance. The cavalry, like all of these troops coming into the city.
are we about to get attacked by dragons?
Can I make a perception check?
Yeah.
Just general, the city itself, any religious iconography, things like that. Your dice are killing me. That's an 11, 14 with hope.
Yeah, you don't need to roll very high to see that there are statues of the same gods that were in that temple, that they are in unique of this city is they, in the square specifically, line the outside of the city. And as you guys walk, like, you do notice, like, there are guards, they do wear armor, but as soon as you approach, like, some of your guys are like, ah! And they're just like, they drop their weapons and they surrender one by one. An elderly guard actually approaches you. He removes his helm and sets it at your feet. We do not wish to fight you. We recognize your strength, my lord.
Are you the one in charge of this town?
No, sir. No.
Okay, then we will accept your surrender.
Of course, my lord. Of course, we are just meager farmers. This farmland, we worship the ancestors. We keep to ourselves. We will not resist.
You need to stop worshiping the ancestors.
Of course, sir. As you say. I don't. Whatever you say.
And then take me to the whoever's in charge.
Of course, of course. As this is happening, your retainers, you probably forgot that you even have.
Yeah, they haven't come up at all.
No. So, do you even remember what? Do you want to tell everybody?
They haven't even come up in the session one.
I thought about them briefly, and there's a thing that I want to do that is perfect for this. So this is the only reason that I bring them up again. Even in episode 1, people would just be like, "Oh, retainers, you three," but no.
I honestly don't remember.
So there's a brother and sister that you basically saved at one point, and they when you were attacking one of the first places that you went to,
Gotcha.
you protected them, and they took a vow of silence. And you finally see them, and you're just like, out of nowhere, they come up to you.
Thank you. Why would he do that?
It's so tempting to look.
I noticed.
Why would he do that?
He was a little obsessed with it. The seer told me I should give it to Cole. I didn't want to risk someone who could potentially not be corrupt end up getting corrupted.
I mean, it was really just the poison on the blade, right?
Oh, I had some magical properties.
I mean, what would it allow him to do?
Never got that far. The seer, we kind of butt heads. I told her she needs glasses. Didn't go over well. At least for the command side, can the witch court start also bringing down the statues of like the ancestors and everything? But at least back in game, in characters.
Notice also, I just want to briefly interrupt. The only person from the inner circle that is also here with you is Warden Atreides Cal.
Cal.
Executioner.
Okay.
I'll turn to my assistants and see if you can locate where he went.
And they turn and they vanish. Basically, you've got 2 assassins at your command.
I will use Gifted Tracker. Because now I'm tracking this fool. Now that because I know from the signs earlier too, right? I kind of already got the idea of how long did he do that, like what time period he did that for. From like at this point, what general direction is he at?
Oh, you don't even need to know that because he critical success. He saw him with Cole on the bridge.
Oh. Up on the...
Yeah. While this is happening, zoom out, zoom in. I know it feels like I'm rushing, but we got 20 minutes to fit this in. At the camp, about 2/3 of the army of the 4th is present. The entire, about half of the 7th Legion is present. The entirety of the 8th is present. They've all gathered in this natural valley to watch and surround Lucerion. His 2 brothers stand beside him. The dragons in the background. You stand by Lucerion's side as he steps up. Give me instinct.
Okay.
And remember your Hopi-Feely dice and stuff.
That is I can do math. 17 with fear.
17 with fear.
Yeah.
I'm maxed out on fear, but good to know. You observe of all the civilians, of which there are about 200. We haven't really talked about all of the civilians here, but you've got people that are writing history books as they happen. You've got other like people in the background working, documenting, traveling with other parts of the host. Each Each like section, like the cavalry, they've got their own people that go along with them. You've got equestrian scholars who are studying the effects of war on horse. So you've got about 200 of them. And in the very front row, you see Calliope in the arms of Annalise, and she sees you, and she's like,
I don't like wave, but I do like give her like a little smile because
and she with instinct as well, you get that she fought for a position in the front because she knew you were going to be here. And so she's like excited and putting on a big smile. You see Herman Gansar is also in the front as well. He's more off to the side. There's kind of like a guard. You also see around around this like barrier set up, kind of almost like a corral. Are you ready, my weapon?
Yes.
Would you like to address the troops first, or?
I don't know what I'd say, to be honest.
Okay. And he takes a step forward. Come to my left.
Walk up there.
My legion. And Amelin Coven has cast a magic that makes his voice echo as if he is like loudspeakers with this subtle echoey delay. My brother's legions, civilians and citizens of the Empire. And you also notice now off in the crowd is also civilians from the 7th host have assembled. The 8th host, from what you know, doesn't really have civilians. There's no room on them in the ships. I was taught that the world before the flame was broken. That gods war endlessly, and that mortals suffered beneath their indifference. That was his mercy. That was a lie. Before the flame, the world was not ruled by chaos. It was ruled by balance. It was imperfect. It was slow, but it was alive. The 12 realms argued. They failed, but they remembered themselves anyways. Their people were not lost. He looks up. Then my father came from beyond the pale expanse, bearing a fire that burned away their memory, to rebuild a world as he thought that it should be remembered, not as it really was. He offered peace, and when the world refused to kneel, he offered forget it, like the true hypocrite that my father really was. But history was not erased, only edited. Wars became rights, kings became saints, bloodlines retitled, and the 13 realms vanished so completely that even his real name was stolen from the history books. The Emperor asks us to remember truth, but only his truth. And to that, I say hypocrisy. Let us remember the truth as it was and will always be. He turns to you. When I faltered, Cassie, it was you who reminded me. Caspian LaPointe, daughter of the Saint Lines. You showed me that obedience is not faith and that remembrance is not repetition. When I was at death's door, you taught me to stand up with what I know is to be true. And that truth does not belong to my father, who burned children's past and called it unity. The flame was never meant to last. It was meant to end one moment and begin another. My moment. The old gods were not defeated. They were forgotten.
We will remember them, and we will remember everything. And we will start by forgetting his tools of rewriting history.
And he nods. And the soldiers take out their blades, and working from the outside in, they begin executing every citizen, historian, civilian. Dagger slitting their throats. You see Herman Gansar at the edge, taken by the collar of a soldier who takes a dagger into his eyes, and you hear from this distance, "Diplomat this. You will not see again." And he throws him to the ground, steps on his body as he moves to the next civilian, and he slits that person's throat. I kick over my bottle. And Lucerion looks at you. You know what you must do. Calliope and Cassie look up at you in horror. What does your character do?
Okay. Well, first, I just quick second. I look at the other, like, Lucerion's brothers. Do they seem on board with this?
Yeah, their host is participating in the execution.
Okay.
Wow. Huh.
We're about to get barbecued.
Okay. Oh God, what do I do? How far away am I from Calliope and Annalise?
20 feet.
20 feet. Guys, I don't like making decisions. I am going to run down to them and like kind of grab them by like the shoulders and say, "We need to go.
Don't hurt us! Don't kill us!
We need to go. We need to go. We need to.
Presence to persuade them.
It's a lie. Never mind. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm good at. That's a 15 with fear.
Is it enough? Can I see her?
You're in the town.
Oh, this is okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were dragging up. Okay, never mind.
With fear, which I will spend, and you take a stress.
Okay. Yeah. I do.
They go with you, but they go with you at first because they realize if you can make them do whatever you want. But when you step away with them in your arms, something gets left behind of yours. And you step out of your demonic possession. And you choose kindness. Instead of the power you were given, you choose to protect the innocent. Your hope die permanently becomes a d20. Your fear die goes back to normal.
I'll take that.
You lose your level and go back to normal.
And I just start running.
And we're gonna take it away.
Yeah.
We're going to you.
All right. Doesn't look like much of a fight down there.
It doesn't. This is kind of disappointing, to be honest with you.
All right. Let's hoping to see some violence. See my boys in action.
Now this is... We could probably head down shortly, but I mean to ask you one more time. Does any of this matter?
Some of the people matter. I've got people In the past, I couldn't protect. But now, I'm strong enough. I can keep him safe.
Make an instinct roll.
So much for that level. So much for that level.
You can even train
Critical success, double 11s.
You notice something very peculiar. Theodore is wearing an armor that you have seen before. The armor of the person that was hanging above the gate. Quickly cut back to you two. This is the moment after you just sent your people to go, your retainers to go away. You see a horde of troops coming down, surrounding the surrounding mountains, the hills. You see the briefest glimpse of them come down. You don't see what happens then. One of the 3 dragons comes flying low over the mountain pass. Sir Praetor Malcolm Vane on top. And you see his what part of his cavalry in the edge that you can just see that's kind of waiting for something to respond to. And you see this dragon unleash its breath and cut through his own cavalry.
We gotta get out of here.
Cole, I'm sorry, brother. You don't owe the Emperor your soul. You already paid with your body. But I know that you wouldn't betray him.
I'm loyal.
Just know what happens next. I'm sorry.
You don't gotta do anything.
He turns and he watches the dragon come over the hill. Tragic and beautiful at the same time.
Don't do anything you'll regret.
We should go back to camp.
Don't think you're above scrounging that armor off a dead man?
He wasn't needing it.
Alright. So I recognize that the dragon is destroying its own... I think you should head back to camp.
Good luck. And he turns and he goes to walk away. What does Cole do when he sees? And actually, you're up in a high enough vantage point to see that the army forces coming over are beginning to slaughter those in the back.
I try to find the quickest way to the town to where Oro and Chaplain are. I recognize that this is going to shit, and I want to know where they're at.
You go to turn, and you feel a hot, painful, warmth radiate from your neck as Theodore turned as he goes to walk away and plunges the arcane blade laced with the blood magic. That marks a fear. You become poisoned. While poisoned in this way, you must mark an extra HP for every attack, and these attacks deal direct damage and bypass your armor. You cannot use armor. And as this is happening, I didn't want it to come to this. I knew I would have to use the same poison that I used on Lucerion. And he kicks you off the cliff. You hit the ground and black out. How much HP do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You lose 15 HP and immediately die.
What?
What?
Wait, what?
Bigger they are.
Something begins to happen. You hear call, 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 and we will pick it up next time.
I'm having like heart palpitations.
Yeah. I died.
Hey, welcome to the club, buddy.